Hello, everyone, and welcome into Avon, Ohio, where today your Washington Wild Things take on the Lake Erie Crushers in Game 1 of a 3-game series. Hi, everyone. I'm Zach Ziegler. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball here on the MSA Sports Network, as I'll be here for you all 2016 season. I'm here for you again tonight. As we said, your Washington Wild Things start a 3-game series with the Lake Erie Crushers here in Avon, Ohio. You're listening to the Washington Wild Things pregame show. Coming up, we have a look at last night's ball game. Unfortunately, the Wild Things falling in that one by a score of 3-2. We're going to recap that game. We also have a sit-down with Wild Things relief pitcher Andrew Wick. That's coming up as well. Also, we're going to recap what happened last time these two teams met. That's coming up, and we have lineups, the pitching matchup, and first pitch for you. It's all right here on the MSA Sports Network. Now, in yesterday's ballgame, the Washington Wild Things finished up a 3-game series with the Windy City Thunderbolts. Unfortunately, they dropped 2 of those 3 games against Windy City, losing including the last game against the Thunderbolts. The Thunderbolts would get started early as they took the lead in inning number 2 on an RBI single by Johnny Ironman that scored Reggie Lawson. That gave Windy City a 1-0 lead. The Wild Things would tie the game in inning number 6 when Jamal Austin would break through with the Wild Things' first hit of the game. As the Wild Things were held hitless for the first 5 2/3 innings of work, Austin would come through with a triple, and he would score one batter later as Jimmy Yezzo smacked an RBI single into left field, scoring Austin and tying the game at 1. Then in inning number 7, things went south for starting pitcher Luke Wilkins as he walked the first 2 men he faced, Corey Bass and Johnny Ironman. And runners at first and second with nobody out. A sacrifice bunt moved them to second and third with just 1 away. And the designated hitter Cody Kiefer came in and hit a 2 RBI single that scored both Bass and Ironman and gave the Windy City Thunderbolts a 3-1 lead over your Washington Wild Things. At that point, that was it for starter Luke Wilkins. Wilkins would finish the day 6 1/3 innings pitched, giving up just the 3 runs, 3 earned on 6 hits, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. And coming in, this was his second start off the disabled list. A pretty good start, as his first start he went 5 shutout innings. This time, 6 innings, allowing 3 runs. 6 1/3, allowing 3 runs. Then Devin Davis would come into the game. He allowed a single to the first man he faced, and runners moved up to second and third after a double steal. Then he got Coco Johnson and Ransom Lalone to ground out, and that would retire the side in inning number 7. Davis would also face the first 2 batters in inning number 8, gave up a single to Reggie Lawson, and then Blair Beck would ground out. Then Andrew Wick would come in and get the 2 men he faced. Corey Bass flew out, Johnny Ironman struck out. Zach Groats would come in for the 9th. After allowing a leadoff double to Cody Kiefer, he set the Thunderbolts down 1-2-3. Taylor Smart would strike out, Tim Zier would ground out, and Coco Johnson would ground out to end the inning. In the 9th, the Wild Things tried to fight back in this one, as after Brian Harr flew out and Dave Popkins struck out, Nick Ferdinand, the newest Wild Thing, walked with 2 away, and then Logan Ox came through with his first Washington Wild Things RBI, an RBI double that scored Ferdinand and made the score 3-2. Then Grant Fink with 2 outs gave the ball a deep drive into the left center field gap. Unfortunately, it was caught at the track, and the game ended. Final score 3-2. With that loss, your Wild Things fell to 11-12 on the year, under 500, as they come into the series with the Lake Erie Crushers. We're going to take our first break here on the Washington Wild Things pregame show. When we come back, we have a sit-down with relief pitcher Andrew Wick, who's been very good lately, a couple of straight scoreless outings for him. So you hear what he has to say. Up next, here on the Washington Wild Things pregame show, you're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
This spring for the scores, the daily standings, and the weekly rankings, plus daily high school sports broadcasts as well. In May, we will have exclusive coverage of the WPIAL baseball and softball playoffs, the WPIAL boys volleyball and tennis championships, and the WPIAL boys and girls track and lacrosse championships. Anytime, anywhere, always there, every day this spring on the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network. You're listening to the Washington Wild Things pregame show, currently joined by Wild Things reliever Andrew Wick. And Andrew, you've had a couple really good outings out of the bullpen, a couple of scoreless appearances, keeping the Wild Things in games. What's your really key to success lately? You got roughed up in the beginning of the season. Now you're coming out there throwing shutout innings. What's been the key so far?
The biggest thing early was us trying to do too much. Just kind of figured out that I needed to settle myself down, work down in the zone. If you leave the ball up, these guys are going to put it out. So biggest thing was just staying on top of the ball, getting it down the zone, and not doing too much.
And we've seen you pitch in two different scenarios. You've pitched with a lead, and you've also pitched when the team's down. Is there a different approach preparing to come into a game with a lead as opposed to a game where you guys are down in the game?
No, honestly, I treat it the same way. I just try to get out there, make sure I put up zeros. Just want to get innings right now, get my feet underneath me, and succeed every time I'm out there. So doesn't matter what the situation is, I'm going to go in there with the same approach and put up zeros.
And the bullpen in general this year has been very good, especially the back end. You, Zach Groats, Devin Davis. What's it been like working with those guys out there in the bullpen this year?
You know, I really enjoy it because it's one of the most talented groups I've been with, and we just kind of challenge each other to go out there, and if they put up a zero, I better put up a zero too. And it's nice to be able to challenge each other with that. So.
And working with guys that well, is there ever any friendly competition like, hey, I'm going to get more strikeouts than you tonight or stuff like that?
I mean, we won't say nothing, but we're thinking it. I mean, each one of us, we want to, be the best out there. And, when you got a talented group like that, you're going to have to show up every single time and do your job. So.
And tonight you have Trevor Foss going on the mound, starting pitcher, won the Week 4 Frontier League Player of the Week, has pitched a couple of complete games in a row. When a guy like that goes out on the mound, what are you thinking out in the bullpen? You thinking, oh, we got this tonight, or what's your mindset going into it?
I just look at it as we're going to be leading at the end of the game, and, we don't know how long he's going to go, but we're going to be ready in the back end, and we expect to have a lead at the end of the game, and we expect to shut it down. So.
And finally, what's it been like with this team so far? We're about a month in now. How's it been like with the guys, all in the group of players on this team?
It's a good group of guys. They work hard, and for me, that's the biggest thing. I like a team that is willing to get in the weight room or when they get to the field is going to work. And, these guys work hard, and that's what I like to see. So I'm looking forward to seeing, what happens throughout the year because we're working hard and we're going to continue to win. So.
Thanks, Andrew. Good luck today.
Hey, thank you.
We'll be right back here on the MSA.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. You're listening to the Washington Wild Things pregame show here from Avon, Ohio, All-Pro Freight Stadium, the site of Game 1 of this three-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. Lake Erie Crushers currently being introduced on the field right now. And as they are, we're going to take a look at what happened last time these two teams met. They played in a rain-shortened two-game series, would end up splitting that series at Consol Energy Park. The Lake Erie Crushers won Game 1 in a wild 13-inning affair. They won 9-6 in that one, and the Wild Things took Game 2. That one would only go 9 innings, and the final score of that one would be 4-2 Wild Things. The third game of the series rained out after just 3 innings of play. In Game 1, as we said, a 13-inning game with a 9-6 Crushers win. And then in the second game, a 4-2 Wild Things win. As we are getting ready for the national anthem here at All-Pro Freight Stadium, we're going to take you down to the field as we prepare to hear the national anthem. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand and face the flag in center field for the performing of our national anthem. Members of the armed forces and veterans who are present but not in uniform may render the military salute in the manner provided for individuals in uniform. Performing our national anthem tonight is Claudia Sheehy.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, getting ready for baseball here at All-Pro Freight Stadium. Game 1 of this 3-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. Crushers on the field, going to take a look at them defensively in the outfield left to right. It's Jordan, Oliver, and Norris. The left side of the infield held down by Avila and Casper. Right side by Carlos Avila and Jose Barraza. And behind the plate, it'll be Brian De La Rosa catching starting pitcher Colin Feldman. And Feldman, on the year, enters this game with a record of 0-2, does have a save on the year, an 8.64 ERA in 5 games, 4 starts, has thrown 16 2/3 innings, giving up 17 runs, 16 earned on 18 hits, 6 strikeouts to 9 walks for Feldman on the hill. The starting lineup for your Washington Wild Things looks like this. They enter the game with a record of 11-12. They'll lead off with center fielder Jamal Austin. Batting second, the designated hitter Jimmy Yezzo. In the 3-hole at second base will be Brian Harr. Batting cleanup and playing in right field, Dave Popkins. In the 5 spot at third base, Ricky Rodriguez. Batting 6th and playing at first base, Logan Ox. Batting 7th in left field, Nick Ferdinand. Batting 8th behind the plate, Alex McKeon. And batting 9th and playing at shortstop will be Austin Wobrock. On the mound for your Wild Things today will be starting pitcher Trevor Foss. And we are ready for baseball here from All-Pro Freight Stadium as Jamal Austin steps in to lead things off for your Washington Wild Things. Austin enters this one 238, no home runs, 5 RBIs on the season. Feldman looking in, has his sign. Here's the first pitch. And Jamal Austin takes this one for a strike. No balls and a strike. First pitch tonight was thrown at 7:08, and it's currently 76 degrees outside. First pitch time and temperature brought to you by State Line Grocery and Hot Spot. Feldman's 0-1, and Austin will foul this one back to the screen. No balls and 2 strikes. Jamal Austin in yesterday's game came up with the first Wild Things hit. The Wild Things didn't collect their first hit in that one until the bottom of inning number 6 with 2 away. Feldman looking into De La Rosa. Doesn't like what he sees so far, and time's called at the plate. Crystal clear skies here in Avon, Ohio at All-Pro Freight Stadium. About a half-full crowd here on a Friday night. Feldman's 0-2. And Austin will foul this one back to the sweet level. Count sticks at no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 just underway from All-Pro Freight Stadium. As we said, last time your Washington Wild Things took on these Lake Erie Crushers, they split the series 1 game apiece. Feldman looking in, has his sign. Here's the 0-2. And Austin to right field. Going back is Norris, and he'll make the catch. That is out number 1. 1 away here in the top of inning number 1 as Jamal Austin flies out to right field, and that'll bring up the designated hitter Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo, 185, 2 home runs, and 10 RBIs. Splitting time between the DH spot and the first base spot is Logan Ox playing first today. Yezo in there as the designated hitter. Feldman set. Here's the pitch to Yezo. And he takes this one for a called strike on the outside corner. No balls and a strike. For the Wild Things, hitting coach Mike Marshall is managing at first, and manager Greg Langben over at third base. Feldman set. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and fouled away to the screen. No balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count. Jimmy Yezo at the plate. DH for these Washington Wild Things. As Logan Ox gets the start at first. Lake Erie in their home red jerseys with white pants. Your Wild Things, the gray road jerseys with gray pants. Yezo takes this one inside for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. 1 out here in the top of the first. No score between the Lake Erie Crushers and your Washington Wild Things. Feldman set. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And Yezo pops this one up and over top of the stadium, so the count sticks at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here at All-Pro Freight Stadium, pretty normal dimensions. 325 down the right field line, 400 out to center field, and again 325 down the left field line. Feldman looking on. Has his sign. Here's the 1-2. And Yezo, a fly ball out behind short. Going out and coming in is Parks Jordan, and Jordan will make the catch. That's out number 2. Yezo hit that ball just behind the shortstop position. Max Casper went out there and thought he was going to get it, but Jordan came in and called him off. And that is out number 2. That'll bring up the second baseman, Brian Haar. Haar, 219, 5 home runs, and 15 RBIs. Has bounced around the infield a lot as of late. 2 outs here in the top of the first. No score between the Lake Erie Crushers and your Washington Wild Things. Feldman looking into his catcher, De La Rosa. Has his sign. Here's the pitch. Haar, a swing and a miss. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Brian Haar in that 3 spot all year, but has played short, second, and third for the Wild Things so far this season. Here's Feldman's 0-1. And another swing and a miss there by Haar. No balls and 2 strikes. First 2 pitches in the zone. Haar has not been able to catch up to them. No wind right now here from All-Pro Freight Stadium. We did have a breeze earlier blowing in from right field, but that has subsided. And time is called behind the plate by Brian De La Rosa. Jose Barraza, the other catcher, stands at first base in this one. So both catchers for the Crushers in the field. The pitch, and that one up and into Brian Haar. He takes it for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. So interesting scenario for Lake Erie as both their catchers are on the field, as we said. So if one would get hurt, the other one would have to move to catcher, and you have to get another player out in the field. Feldman set. Here's the 1-2. Haar takes this one outside for a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes as De La Rosa had to lunge outside to catch that ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the first. No score between the Lake Erie Crushers and your Washington Wild Things. Here's the pitch, and Haar will foul this one back to the screen. 2 balls, 2 strikes, the count remains. 2-2, 2 away. The first of a 3-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. Short 3-game road trip as the Wild Things will return home on Tuesday night when they take on the Joliet Slammers. Feldman set. Here's the 2-2. And Haar will take this one inside, and it actually hits him. It got him on the shoulder. So the Wild Things will have a 2-out base runner as Haar is hit by a pitch. And there's a runner at first, 2 away. That'll bring up the right fielder, Dave Popkins. Popkins, 324, 3 home runs, and 8 RBIs. About a month into the season, leads the team in batting average to this point. The runner at first, Brian Haar, he reached on a hit by pitch. Feldman looking in, has his sign. And here's the pitch. Swing and a miss there by Popkins, no balls and a strike. The switch hitter Popkins batting left-handed against the right-hander Colin Feldman. Here from All-Pro Freight Stadium in Avon, Ohio. Game 1 of this 3-game series. Feldman set, checks Haar at first. And the 0-1. And the bat flies out of Popkins' hands as he fouls this one away. And the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. Popkins, a big swing there, and the bat just slipped out of his hand. Mike Marshall will get him his bat back, the Wild Things hitting coach, coaching over there at first base. Brian Harr on first for the Wild Things with 2 away. He reached on a hit by pitch. And Dave Popkins going to get the rosin bag to help him make that bat stick to his batting gloves. Brian De La Rosa going out to talk to Colin Feldman. The first 2 Wild Things retired in this inning as Jamal Austin flew out and Jimmy Yezzo flew out. Then Brian Harr was hit by a pitch. Colin Feldman on the mound for the Lake Erie Crushers, taking on your Washington Wild Things. Feldman has his sign, checks Harr at first, and the 0-2. And that one's low for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Good take there by Dave Popkins. And he stays alive. 1-2 the count. 2 outs here in the top of the first. No score between the Lake Erie Crushers and your Washington Wild Things. Feldman set. And the 1-2. And Popkins pops this one up. Max Casper out at short, under it, and he will make the catch. That is out number 3. So no runs on no hits, no errors, and a man left after the hit by pitch. And after half an inning, the score. Your Washington Wild Things nothing. Lake Erie Crushers coming to the plate. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of inning number 1, and no score between your Washington Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. Wild Things take the field like this, in the outfield left to right. It's Ferdinand, Austin, and Popkins. Left side of the infield held down by Rodriguez and Wolbrock. Right side by Harr and Ox. And behind the plate, it'll be Alex McKeon catching starting pitcher Trevor Foss. And not much bad you can say about Foss. Record of 3-2, a 2.50 ERA. This will be his 6th start, 7th appearance. He's thrown 36 innings, given up 11 runs, 10 earned on just 30 hits, 4 walks, and 27 strikeouts. He was named the Frontier League Week 4 Pitcher of the Week. Has thrown 3 straight complete games, a 7-inning complete game against Traverse City, a full 9-inning complete game against Normal, and then just a 6-inning complete game against, against Evansville on Sunday. Foss back out there, his 6th start of the year, and he will look to continue his success. The lineup for the Lake Erie Crushers looks like this. They lead off with their center fielder, Connor Oliver. Batting second at second base, Carlos Avila. In the third spot at first base, Jose Barraza. Batting fourth, designated hitter William Beckwith. In the 5-hole at third base, Juan Avila. Batting sixth, catcher Brian De La Rosa. Batting seventh in right field, Parker Norris. Hitting eighth in left field, Parks Jordan. And batting ninth and playing at shortstop, Max Casper. And leading things off for the Lake Erie Crushers, Connor Oliver, currently hitting .316 with 3 home runs and 9 RBIs. Wild Things do manage a base runner in the first inning, but that's all they'll get as he's stranded there to end the top of the first. It's Trevor Foss looking into McKeon. He has his sign. Here's his first pitch. And this one's taken inside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. As we said last time out for Foss, a 6-inning complete game, a range-shortened 6-inning game, as he gave up no runs in 6 innings of work. Foss set, here's the 1-0. Swung on and missed, 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Here in the bottom of inning number 1. Lake Erie Crushers managed by Chris Mogiardo. He is over at third base, and Justin Curitan is coaching over at first. This next pitch is inside for a ball, 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count here on Connor Oliver, the center fielder for the Lake Erie Crushers. No score here in the bottom of inning number 1. Foss looks in, he's set, here's the 2-1. And Oliver takes it inside for a ball, 3 balls and a strike. So Foss, 3 balls right out of the gates. Not what he necessarily wants, but we'll see if he can work out of it. Oliver, 316, good for the team lead and average coming in. This one grounded towards second. Brian Haar playing in short right, handles it, throw to first, and that's out number 1, 4-3 on the putout, and the leadoff man retired for Lake Erie. That'll bring up the second baseman, Carlos Avila. Avila hitting .271, no home runs, and 7 RBIs on the young season. So Foss gets Connor Oliver to ground out here to start things in the bottom of inning number 1. Now facing Carlos Avila. Foss set, here's the pitch. And that one's a called strike, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count for Foss, likes to work quickly, use the corners of the plate, and likes to keep the ball in the strike zone, the 0-1. And this one also grounded to second. Haar will handle it over there, throw to first, and that's out number 2. Second out, same as the first. Another ground out to Brian Haar, and Trevor Foss has retired the first 2 men here in the bottom of inning number 1. And that'll bring up the first baseman, Jose Barraza. Barraza hitting .293, 3 home runs, and 17 RBIs. One of the big boys on this team, Barraza and Beckwith. Both the big bombers here for the Lake Erie Crushers. Barraza standing at 6'1", 220. Beckwith up next stands 6'2", 240. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled back to the screen. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on Jose Barraza. We said your Washington Wild Things currently 4th in the Frontier League East standings with a record of 11-12. Lake Erie Crushers in 2nd place. They're 13. They're 13-9 coming into this game. So Wild Things looking to gain ground here in the Frontier League East. They were up to third place, but the Joliet Slammers jumped them after their recent stretch. They're 3-7 in their last 10 games. Here's the 0-2. And that one's high for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count here on Jose Barraza. 2 outs in the bottom of the first. No score between your Washington Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. Here's the pitch. And that one's outside for a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. Bottom of the first here from All Pro Freight Stadium in Avon, Ohio. Your Washington Wild Things taking on the Lake Erie Crushers. Foss set, here's the 2-2. And Barraza line to left field, and this one's hooking and will go foul. So the count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. As we said, a decent crowd here in Avon, Ohio, about halfway full on a Friday night. Your Washington Wild Things taking on the Lake Erie Crushers. Foss set, here's the 2-2. And Barraza fouls this one off at the plate as well, so the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Last pitch in there at 81 for Trevor Foss, 81 miles an hour. It's Foss facing Jose Barraza. Barraza, a returner to these Lake Erie Crushers. Here's the 2-2. And a swing and a miss. The ball's in the dirt. And Alex McKeon will get it and throw to first. And that is out number 3. Strikeout, 2-3 put out. And 1-2-3 go the Crushers here in inning number 1. After 1 inning of play, the score. Your Washington Wild Things nothing, Lake Erie nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute? That keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of inning number 2, and the score, your Washington Wild Things nothing, Lake Erie nothing. In the first inning for your Wild Things, they did get a base runner as Jamal Austin flew out to start the inning. Then Jimmy Yezza would fly out with 1 away. They bring up Brian Haar. Haar would get hit by a pitch on the left shoulder. That would get the Wild Things a runner on base, and then Dave Popkins would pop out the shortstop to end the inning. Due up for the Wild Things here in the second, Ricky Rodriguez, Logan Ox, and Nick Ferdinand, 5, 6, and 7 due up against Colin Feldman. Hey fans, you know you can receive $100 when you open a new checking account with Clearview Federal Credit Union. Visit them at clearviewfcu.org today for more details. Colin Feldman finishing his warm-up tosses. We said a short 3-game road trip for your Washington Wild Things. They play 3 here in Lake Erie, and then an off day Monday, they return home on Tuesday night, take on the Joliet Slammers in the first of a 3-game series. Then they'll take on the Windy City Thunderbolts again for 3 over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Ricky Rodriguez stepping in to lead off things here in the top of the second. Rodriguez, 226, 2 home runs, and 9 RBIs on the year. Feldman set, here's the pitch. And Rodriguez, a swing and a miss, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Rodriguez did not start the season as he was on the disabled list, started late, came activated in the first game against these Lake Erie Crushers on the homestand, the 0-1. And that one's in the dirt, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, and nobody out here in the top of the second. No score between your Washington Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. Feldman set, and the 1-1. Rodriguez up the middle. Casper, a diving stop behind second base. The throw to first is not in time, and Ricky Rodriguez beats out the throw, and the leadoff man is on here for the Wild Things in the top of the second. Max Casper, a great try behind second base, made the sliding stop, but he couldn't get to his feet in time to make the throw and throw out Ricky Rodriguez. Good hustle by Rodriguez, getting down to first base. And that'll bring up the first baseman, Logan Ox. Ox playing in his 6th game with the Wild Things, 250, no home runs, and 1 RBI. He was signed in before the second game of the Evansville series. Feldman checks Rodriguez, here's the pitch. And Ox takes this one inside for a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count to the Wild Things first baseman. Ox and Yezo have both been splitting time there since Ox's signing. Here's Feldman's 1-0. Ox takes this one inside as well, 2 balls and no strikes. So after allowing the leadoff single, Feldman having trouble finding the plate here against Logan Ox. Feldman looking into the De La Rosa, has his sign, checks Rodriguez. Kicks and deals. Ox takes this one high, ball 3. So 3 straight balls here to Logan Ox. And for Ox, in his 5 games with the Washington Wild Things, he has 4 hits, 3 of which being extra base hits. He has 2 doubles and a triple, as well as a single. He did drive in his first Washington Wild Things RBI in yesterday's ball game in the 9th inning as the Wild Things tried to stage a comeback against the Windy City Thunderbolts, but just couldn't do it as they fell in that one 3-2. The meeting on the mound's over. Feldman has his sign and the 3-0 on the way to Ox. And he'll take this one for a called strike. 3 balls and a strike. That one put at the knees and down the middle of the plate. 3-1, nobody out here in the top of the second. No score between your Washington Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. Feldman has his sign. Checks first. Here's the 3-1. And a swing and a foul ball by Ox. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Full count, Nick Ferdinand, the on-deck batter. The newest Washington Wild Thing, signed before yesterday's game. A left-handed batter, Logan Ox, versus the right-handed pitcher, Colin Feldman. Feldman has his sign, checks Rodriguez. And the 3-2. There goes Rodriguez for second. This one lined to left field. Coming in is Norris. He'll make the catch, or Jordan will make the catch, throw to first. And Ricky Rodriguez able to get back. So Logan Ox to fly out to left field. And Ricky Rodriguez was stealing on the play. He had to go back to first, and luckily made it in there before the throw came back into the infield. And that'll bring up the left fielder, Nick Ferdinand. Ferdinand, playing in his 2nd game with the Wild Things, was 0 for 3 in his Washington Wild Things debut yesterday. Ferdinand signed off of the York Revolution just before yesterday's ball game. Feldman set. Checks Rodriguez, the pitch. And it's in there for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the Wild Things left fielder. For Ferdinand, 6'1", 210. Played for the York Revolution last year. Hit 262, 11 home runs, 29 RBIs. The pitch, and that one's low for a ball, 1 strike. So Ferdinand has shown an ability as an offensive player. We'll see if he can come through here. Feldman looking into De La Rosa. He has his sign. He's set. Checks Rodriguez at first. And the 1-1 coming to Ferdinand. And Ferdinand, a line drive to center field. Fooled Oliver in center field. This will get down to the wall. Rodriguez around first. He's heading around third. He's heading home. Here comes the throw to the plate. There will be no throw. Rodriguez scores, and your Wild Things lead it 1-0 here in the top of inning number 2. Nick Ferdinand, his first RBI for the Washington Wild Things, his first hit, and it gives the Wild Things a 1-0 lead here in the top of inning number 2. Connor Oliver in center field was fooled initially on that ball as he thought it was going to carry right out to him, but it ended up going over his head, bouncing on the track, carried a lot more than he thought it would. And the Wild Things now with a 1-0 lead. That'll bring up the catcher, Alex McKeon. So Ferdinand, first hit, first RBI for the Wild Things. McKeon comes in, 300 hitter, 1 home run, 5 RBIs. And that pitch is inside for a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. Wild Things lead it 1-0 after the RBI double by Nick Ferdinand. The Wild Things now have a runner at second with only 1 away. McKeon at the plate. Feldman looking for his sign. He has it. He's set. Checks second, the pitch. And McKeon takes this one for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. For Nick Ferdinand, as we said, 11 home runs last year for the York Revolution. Had 29 RBIs, gets his first Wild Things RBI here in the top of inning number 2. Feldman looking in. Here's the 1-1. And that one's a called strike on McKeon. 1 ball and 2 strikes. McKeon, a big offensive day against the Windy City Thunderbolts in Game 1 of the doubleheader. Had a big 2-run home run that would give the Wild Things the lead in the bottom of the 6th in Game 1 of that series. Feldman checks Ferdinand, the 1-2. And that one's outside for a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out here in the top of inning number 2. Nick Ferdinand, the runner at second. He had an RBI double that gave the Wild Things this 1-0 lead. Feldman set. Checks Ferdinand, kicks in the pitch to McKeon. And McKeon pops it up. Center field, Max Casper going out there. Now coming in Oliver, and Oliver will call him off, make the catch, and that's out number 2. 2 away here in the second. 1 run in already for your Washington Wild Things, and that'll bring up the shortstop, Austin Wobrock. Wobrock, 228, 1 home run, 7 RBIs on the 2016 season to this point. Wobrock was hitting in the number 2 spot early in the year, but ever since the last homestand, he's been batting number 9 in the Wild Things order. Feldman looking into De La Rosa. A long look in as he's going over the signs. Now he has one he likes. Sets, checks Ferdinand, and time is called. The third baseman, Juan Avila, creeping in. He's playing in between the second and third base bag. Now backing up to the normal third base position. Feldman's first pitch to Wobrock. Wobrock will foul this one back to the screen. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. 2 outs here in the top of the second. Wild Things lead 1-0 over the Lake Erie Crushers. Colin Feldman on the mound facing Austin Wobrock. Feldman looking into De La Rosa. Has his sign. He's set. Checks Ferdinand. And the 0-1. Wobrock again fouls this one back to the screen. No balls and 2 strikes. Couple of good swings there by Wobrock, but nothing doing. And now out comes the pitching coach for the Lake Erie Crushers to have a meeting with Colin Feldman. That's Emmanuel Quiles going out there to talk to the pitcher. Quiles goes back. Short meeting on the mound as De La Rosa still out there. For these Lake Erie Crushers, as we said, currently sit in second place in the Frontier League East division standings. They come into this one against the Washington Wild Things. Wild Things dropped 2 of 3 to the Windy City Thunderbolts prior to this game. The Wobrock back in there. 0-2 the count, 2 away. Feldman set. Checks second. And the 0-2. Wobrock chops this one to the right side and foul. Count remains no balls and 2 strikes. Coming into this series, the Lake Erie Crushers have also dropped 2 of 3. They dropped 2 of 3 to the Joliet Slammers, losing 5-2 on Tuesday, 5-3 on Wednesday, and then winning 10-2 last night. So both teams coming in a little bit of a struggle right now. Feldman has his sign, and the 0-2. And that one's outside. Snap throw to second, and Ferdinand just does get back in there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ferdinand caught off guard by that throw down by De La Rosa. Nearly got him off the bag, but just does get his hand back. 2 outs, 1-2 the count here on Austin Wobrock. In the top of inning number 2, 1 run in already on the Nick Ferdinand RBI double. Feldman looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch to Wobrock. Wobrock lines this one to right field. Norris is over there, and he'll make the catch, and that is out number 3. So 1 run in the inning on 2 hits, no errors, and a man left after 1.5 to score. Your Washington Wild Things 1, Lake Erie 0. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Bottom of inning number 2, and your Washington Wild Things lead this one 1-0. In the first inning, the Trevor Foss retired the Lake Erie Crushers 1-2-3, getting Connor Oliver to ground out. Carlos Avilo grounded out as well, and Jose Barraza would strike out to end the inning. And with the role that Trevor Foss has been on so far, 1 run might be enough. He's thrown 3 straight complete games, a 9-inning complete game in normal against the Corn Belters, a 6-inning complete game, rain-shortened game on Sunday. Didn't give up any runs in that one, gave up 1 run against normal, and gave up 3 runs in a complete game loss to Traverse City. So Foss has been on a roll lately, as we said, named the Week 4 Frontier League Pitcher of the Week last week as he threw 2 complete games, giving up 1 run in 9 innings against the normal Corn Belters, and then throwing a 6-inning shutout on Sunday against the Evansville Otters. We do have to face him here in the second. William Beckwith, Juan Avila, and Brian De La Rosa, 4, 5, and 6, due up for the Lake Erie Crushers. Wild Things lead 1-0 here from All-Pro Freight Stadium in Avon, Ohio. As it's the second series of the year between these two teams. The first series was split a game apiece, as the Lake Erie Crushers took Game 1 by a score of 9-6 in 13 innings, and the Wild Things took Game 2 4-2. Game 3 was rained out, 3 innings. It was a rain-shortened Sunday ball game. So Trevor Foss now facing William Beckwith. Beckwith comes into this one, hitting .238, 1 home run, 8 RBIs. And the first pitch is in there for a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. Beckwith's only home run of the season came at Consol Energy Park in that series. That pitch is a called strike, 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. As Foss has his sign, here's the 1-1. Beckwith takes this one for a strike. Low and on the inside corner, 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count here on Beckwith. Was 5 for 5 in the opening game of the last series against the Wild Things. Foss is 1-2. And that one's low for a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Count even at 2-2 in that 13-inning game. He hit the home run that gave the Lake Erie Crushers their only run through the first 10 innings of that game, the 2-2. And a swing and a miss. The bat flies out of Beckwith's hand now, and it's a strikeout, and there's 1 away here in the second. Happened to Popkins in inning number 1. The bat flew out of his hand. Now William Beckwith, bat flying out of his hand as he strikes out here in the second. And with that, that'll bring up the third baseman, Juan Avila. Avila on the year. Juan Avila on the year. Hitting .299, 5 home runs, and 19 RBIs. Got to get the rosin in order. The second bat that's flown out of a player's hand today. Juan Avila stepping in. One away here in the bottom of inning number 2. Wild Things lead 1-0 over the Lake Erie Crushers. Avila, a .299 hitter, leads the team with 5 home runs. Foss set. Here's the first pitch. And that one's in there for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the Lake Erie third baseman. Foss set. Here's the 0-1. And this one grounded to third. Rodriguez handles it over there. Fire across to first. And that's out number 2. So quickly 2 away here in the bottom of inning number 2. And that'll bring up the catcher, Brian De La Rosa. De La Rosa's played in just 9 games so far. 194, no home runs, and 2 RBIs. The backup to Jose Barraza behind the plate. Barraza, the normal catcher, is playing first base this evening. So both catchers getting a shot there in the lineup tonight. Trevor Foss, 5 up, 5 down so far against the Lake Erie Crushers. Foss set. Here's the pitch. And that one's low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count on Brian De La Rosa. 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Wild Things lead 1-0 over the Lake Erie Crushers. Foss is 1-0. And this one's taken low as well. 2 balls and no strikes. And for Foss, one thing we've seen all year, his control. In 5 games, he's only walked 4 batters in 36 innings while striking out 27. The pitch. Swung on and missed. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count. 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Foss 2 strikeout victims already today. To no walks. In that 6-inning complete game, he did not walk a batter against Evansville. The 2-1. And that one's in there as well. Count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. With Foss, when he does fall behind, he has the ability to pound the strike zone and get back into counts. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. He strikes out, his 3rd strikeout victim of the night, and that ends the inning. 1-2-3 go the Crushers in the second, and after 2 innings to play, the score, your Washington Wild Things 1, Lake Erie 0. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. PALCS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. PALCS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to PALCS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School, lead, don't follow.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of inning number 3, and your Wild Things currently lead this one 1-0. In the second inning for the Wild Things, Ricky Rodriguez started things off with an infield single as Max Casper made a great diving stop at shortstop, but just couldn't get to his feet in time to retire Rodriguez, so he reached. Then Logan Ox flew out to left field on a sharp line drive. Then Nick Ferdinand came up and produced his first Wild Things hit and first Wild Things RBI, an RBI double that scored Ricky Rodriguez and made the score 1-0 Wild Things. Then with Ferdinand on second, Alex McKeon would fly out to center, and Austin Wobrock would fly out to right to end the second inning. Due up for the Wild Things here in the third, Jamal Austin, Jimmy Yezzo, and Brian Haar facing off against Colin Feldman. So for Feldman, 1 good inning, 1 rough inning, as he faced just 4 batters in inning number 1 against your Washington Wild Things, hitting Brian Haar, and then getting Austin Yezzo and Popkins to all fly out. And then last inning giving up the run on just the 2 hits. So Wild Things lead 1-0 as we get ready for the top of inning number 3. Hey fans, every Thursday night game during the 2016 season is Thirsty Thursday at Consol Energy Park, and it's all being brought to you by Frankie I's Bar and Grill, located on the Meadows Casino on Route 19. Join them to enjoy food and drink specials after the game, and don't forget Thursday's feature is Buck Beverages, both beer and soda, for just $1. Colin Feldman finishing his warm tosses. The next Thirsty Thursday at Consol Energy Park will be this Thursday as the Joliet Slammers come into town. Slammers coming in June 14th through the 16th to take on your Washington Wild Things. That June 16th game will be the next Thirsty Thursday. So Jamal Austin steps in 0 for 1 thus far, and in yesterday's game ended up going 1 for 4 with a triple. Feldman looking into De La Rosa. Second time through the Wild Things lineup. Here's the pitch. Austin bunting, but pulls it back and takes the ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count on the Wild Things center fielder. As he broke through, as we said, with the first Wild Things hit yesterday. Here's the 1-0. Austin bunting again. This time will take a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count on the Wild Things leadoff hitter. Facing Colin Feldman and the Lake Erie Crushers. 1-0 Wild Things lead here in the top of the third. Here's the 1-1. Austin takes this one low for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count here from Avon, Ohio at All-Pro Freight Stadium. Just off of I-90. As I-90 goes behind the right field wall. Here's the 2-1. Austin lines this one to right field. Coming in as Norris, and he'll make the catch. That's out number 1. So just as Jamal Austin did in the first inning, flying out to Parker Norris. And there's 1 out here in the third. That'll bring up the designated hitter, Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo 0 for 1. Played first game in yesterday's contest. Went 1 for 4 with an RBI single. Feldman set. Here's the pitch. And Yezzo takes this one for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on Jimmy Yezzo. Has really found a home in that second spot in the Wild Things lineup. His offensive numbers have increased since going there. Here's the 0-1. Yezzo takes this one low for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Yezzo at one point hitting under 100. He was hitting .048 before the first homestand of the year. Now has raised his average since to 185 with 2 home runs and 10 RBIs. Here's the 1-1. And Yezzo takes this one way inside for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count here on Jimmy Yezzo, playing the designated hitter role tonight. Seen him both as a DH and a first baseman. Feldman has his sign. Here's the 2-1. And Yezzo takes this one low for a ball. 3 balls and a strike. As Feldman having trouble finding the strike zone. We've seen last inning he lost some control as he went 3-0 to start the at-bat against Logan Ox before getting him to fly out. 2-2 the other high pitch count to Alex McKeon. Feldman's 3-1. And Yezzo takes this one inside, ball 4. The first walk of the day for Colin Feldman gives the Wild Things a leadoff base or a 1-out base runner here in the third, and that'll bring up the third baseman Brian Haar. Haar, no official at bat yet as he reached first on a hit by pitch his first time up in the first inning. Haar in last night's ball game 0 for 4, strikeout, ground out, and 2 flyouts against the Windy City Thunderbolts. Feldman looking, has his sign, checks Yezzo at first. And the pitch. Haar takes this one high for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. So after a 3-1 walk to Jimmy Yezzo, starts out the count here with Brian Haar, 1-0. Feldman looking in, has his sign, checks Yezzo at first. And the 1-0. And Haar will foul this one back behind the stadium. Count goes to 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the top of the third. Wild Things lead 1-0 over the Lake Erie Crushers. Jimmy Yezzo standing at first base. Yezzo reached on a walk. Feldman looking into De La Rosa. Has his sign. He's set. And the 1-1 coming to Haar. Throw to first. And Yezzo's back. A long pause by Colin Feldman on the mound. Jimmy Yezzo, no stolen bases for the Wild Things this season. Not a very fast guy, but still worth keeping an eye on because if you don't pay attention, there is the chance they go. Feldman set. Here's the 1-1. Haar takes this one high for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count here on Brian Haar, the leading RBI man on this Washington Wild Things team with 15. Yezzo sits in second with 10, and then Ricky Rodriguez in third with 9. Feldman has his sign, checks Yezzo. And the 2-1. Haar will take this one high, ball 3. 3 balls and a strike, and that will bring De La Rosa out to the mound to talk. Juan Avila also coming over there on the mound to talk to Colin Feldman. As we were talking about earlier, last time these two teams met, they split a rain-shortened two-game series. Game 1 went 13 innings. Both games were really pitcher's duels as Chase Cunningham, 7 innings, 1 run, and the Lake Erie starter Todd Kibbe, 6 2/3, 1 run in Game 1. And in Game 2, Matt Frodden pitched 6 innings, giving up 1 run, and Steve Hagan pitched 5, giving up 1 run. So Brian Haar back in there. Here's the pitch, and Haar takes this one inside, ball 4. Back-to-back walks here for Colin Feldman. Give the Wild Things runners at first and second with 1 away, and that'll bring up the right fielder Dave Popkins. Popkins today 0 for 1. And in Sunday's ball game, ended up going 0 for 3. Strikeout, ground out, pop out, and also a walk. Popped out the short as last time. Jimmy Yezzo standing on second. He walked. Brian Haar at first. He was the next batter walked. Feldman set. Checks Yezzo at second. And the pitch to Popkins. Popkins takes this one outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count, 1 away here in the top of the third. Wild Things lead 1-0 over the Lake Erie Crushers. Feldman looking into De La Rosa. Has his sign. He's set. And the 1-0. As Feldman checks second, here it comes. Popkins pops this one up on the infield. Casper behind second base will camp under it and make the catch. The second time Popkins has popped out to Max Casper, and that's out number 2. 2 away, 2 on for the Wild Things, and that'll bring up the third baseman, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez 1 for 1 as he singled back in inning number 2 and scored the first run of the game for your Wild Things. Rodriguez had the night off last night as Grant Fink got the start at third base. There is action in the Lake Erie bullpen. Mike Devine warming up out there. Feldman set. Yezzo takes his lead from second. Here's the pitch. And Rodriguez takes a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the Wild Things third baseman, Ricky Rodriguez. Has a man in scoring position here as the Wild Things look to add some insurance. Feldman looking in. Has his sign. He's set. Checks Yezzo. And the 0-1. Rodriguez takes outside 87 on that pitch. Count goes to 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jimmy Yezzo at second. Brian Haar at first. As both batters walked with 1 away, then Dave Popkins would pop out. So it's first and second, 2 away for your Washington Wild Things. Feldman set. Here's the 1-1. Rodriguez, a ground ball left side. Diving stop by Avila. It's off his glove. Casper gets the relay, but he will not have a throw at first base. Rodriguez reaches with his second hit of the day. Another infield single, and the bases are full of Wild Things here with 2 away. And that'll bring up Logan Ox, the first baseman. Ox today 0 for 1 as he flew out to left field his last time. And yesterday's game was 1 for 4 with an RBI. Ox a big chance, and now manager Chris Mogiardo is coming to the mound. And we'll see if we have a pitching change here early on, as there is action in the bullpen. Mike Devine warming up out there. And Mogiardo will make the move to the bullpen. Pitching change here in the third. We're going to take a break. You're listening to Washington Wild Things Baseball here on the MSA Sports Network.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get to sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Top of the third, 2 outs and the bases are loaded for your Washington Wild Things. They lead this one 1-0. Pitching change for the Lake Erie Crushers. Coming on now, Mike Devine. Devine 3-1, has 2 saves on the year. A 1.77 ERA, is appearing in his 16th game, has made 1 start. Thrown in 20 and a third innings pitched, giving up 5 runs, 4 earned on 13 hits, 5 walks, and 20 strikeouts for Mike Devine. Devine has also had some at-bats this year, hitting 250s, 1 for 4 on the season in 2 games as a batter. And the first man to face him here will be Logan Ox. Ox trying to drive in some more runs for the Wild Things. They have the bases loaded and 2 away. Jimmy Yezzo at third, he walked. Brian Harr at second, he walked. And then Ricky Rodriguez at first base after the single. Ox the batter. Devine has his sign. He's set. Checks Yezzo the pitch. Ox fouls this one away back behind the stadium. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here from Avon, Ohio. Top of the third, Wild Things lead it 1-0. 1 run, 3 hits for the Wild Things. No runs, no hits for the Lake Erie Crushers. Devine looking in. He's set. Checks Yezzo, kicks in the 0-1. And this ball popped up. Foul territory, and it'll go back into the seats. Count goes to 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes here on Logan Ox, as he's batting here in the top of the third. Wild Things up 1-0. Mike Devine on the hill. Devine looking in, has his sign. He's set. And the 0-2. And a swing and a miss by, no, he fouled it off. Ox fouled the pitch off, and Brian De La Rosa couldn't hold it in his glove, so Ox staying alive, no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count, bases full of Wild Things here. Jimmy Yezzo at third, Brian Harr at second, Ricky Rodriguez at first. Devine looking in. Has his sign, he's set. And the pitch. Ox takes this one inside for a ball, jumps out of the way, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Devine looking to keep the bases loaded. Wild Things looking to add on. They already have a 1-0 lead. Jimmy Yezzo at third, Brian Harr at second, Ricky Rodriguez at first. 1-2, 2 outs. Wild Things lead 1-0. Devine set. And the 1-2 pitch. Ox takes this one high and inside for a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Count goes even here to the Wild Things first baseman. Avon, Ohio, just about 20 minutes outside of the Cleveland area. As Devine has his sign. He's set. Kicks in the 2-2. Ox line to center field. That's a base hit. Yezzo will score. Harr coming around third. He will score. And it's a 2 RBI single for Logan Ox. Your Wild Things now lead it 3-0 here in the top of inning number 3. Runners at the corners with 2 away. Yezzo and Harr score. And your Wild Things take the lead. That's the second and third RBIs on the year for Logan Ox. And the 2 new guys coming through so far for the Wild Things. Nick Ferdinand drove in the first run. Logan Ox driving in 2 here in the third. And that will bring up Nick Ferdinand with runners on the corners and 2 away. Ferdinand 1 for 1, an RBI double his first time. And in last night's game was 0 for 3. Strikeout, pop out, a ground out, and a walk. Here's the pitch. And it's fouled away. No balls and a strike on Ferdinand. 2 runs in for the Wild Things here in the third. Both those runs charged to starting pitcher Colin Feldman. Feldman still responsible for Ricky Rodriguez at third base. Logan Ox at first is Mike Devine's responsibility. Devine set. In the 0-1 to Ferdinand. And Ferdinand breaks his bat soft to third. A leaping catch by Juan Avila, and that will end the inning. The Wild Things do get 2 more runs in the inning on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left. And after 2.5 to score, your Washington Wild Things 3, Lake Erie nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Be sure to check out MSASports.net every day this spring for the scores, the daily standings, and the weekly rankings, plus daily high school sports broadcasts as well. In May, we will have exclusive coverage of the WPIAL baseball and softball playoffs, the WPIAL boys volleyball and tennis championships, and the WPIAL boys and girls track and lacrosse championships. Anytime, anywhere, always there, every day this spring on the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Wild Things currently lead this one 3-1 as we go into the bottom of inning number 3. Trevor Foss so far 6 up, 6 down. As we said, was the Week 4 Frontier League Pitcher of the Week, as he's thrown 3 straight complete games, 7 innings in Game 1 of the doubleheader against Traverse City, only giving up 3 runs in that one and a loss. Then a 9-inning complete game against the Normal Corn Belters, where he gave up just 1 run in the victory. And then last time out, 6 shutout innings in a complete rain-shortened game, 6 complete innings, but the game was rained out in the 6th inning. Still a complete game for Trevor Foss, not giving up a run in that one. Due up here in the 3rd to face him will be Parker Norris, Parks Jordan, and Max Casper, 7, 8, and 9 against Trevor Foss on the mound for your Wild Things. Every Friday night's Fireworks Night at Consol Energy Park. Enjoy a spectacular fireworks display after all Friday night Wild Things home games this season. The next Fireworks Night this Friday night, June 17th, as your Washington Wild Things take on the Windy City Thunderbolts at Consol Energy Park. This is a short 3-game road trip for your Wild Things, just spending Friday, Saturday, Sunday here in Avon, Ohio. Tomorrow's game 7:05. Sunday, first pitch at 2:05. And your Wild Things will be back at Consol Energy Park Tuesday night when they take on the Joliet Slammers in the first of a 3-game series. Parker Norris steps in to lead things off here in the 3rd. Norris on the year is hitting .255 with no home runs, 8 RBIs. The first pitch to him is a called strike, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here in the bottom of the 3rd. Wild Things lead 3-0 over the Lake Erie Crushers, the 0-1. And that one's low for a ball, 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on Parker Norris. Norris out there in right field this evening. Foss is 1-1. And Norris takes this one for a strike at the knees, 1 ball and 2 strikes. For Trevor Foss lately, it's just been dominance. He's been easily the most consistent pitcher on this Wild Things staff, the 1-2. And a called strike 3. Parker Norris strikes out, the 4th strikeout victim for Trevor Foss here in just 2 1/3 innings pitched. And there's 1 away in the bottom of inning number 3. That'll bring up the left fielder, Parks Jordan. Jordan wearing a special gold jersey today for the Lake Erie Crushers. Has number 82 on it. Special gold jersey. The only Crusher that's wearing that jersey. Foss set, here's the pitch. And that one's low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count on Parks Jordan, the left fielder for these Lake Erie Crushers. Wild Things lead 3-0. Foss set, here's the 1-0. And that one's in there for a strike at the knees. 1 ball, 1 strike. Foss back-to-back strikeouts as he struck out Brian De La Rosa to end things in the 2nd. Now strikes out Parker Norris to start the top of the the bottom of the 3rd. Here's the 1-1. And this ball hit the left field, foul territory. Ferdinand going over, and he will make the catch at the line, and that is out number 2. 2 away here in the bottom of the 3rd. Quickly retired for Trevor Foss, and that'll bring up the shortstop, Max Casper. Casper on the year, .314, no home runs, and 11 RBIs. Plays shortstop regularly for these Lake Erie Crushers as he's playing in his 23rd game here tonight. Casper made a nice diving stop on a Ricky Rodriguez single in the 2nd inning. Unfortunately for him, the throw was not in time to retire Ricky Rodriguez. Here's Foss's 0-1, and that one's in there for a strike. No balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count on Max Casper. 4 strikeout victims for Trevor Foss already through 2 2/3 innings. Foss set, here's the 0-2, and now time is called behind home plate. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Wild Things lead 3-0 over the Lake Erie Crushers. Foss is 0-2. And that one's a called strike 3, and the side is retired. 1-2-3 go the Crushers again here in the third. And after 3, the score, your Washington Wild Things 3, Lake Erie nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here from All-Pro Freight Stadium in Avon, Ohio, top of the fourth, and your Wild Things currently lead this one over the Lake Erie Crushers 3-0. Last inning, the Wild Things added 2 more runs as Jamal Austin would start things off with a flyout. Then Jimmy Yezzo and Brian Haar back-to-back walks. Dave Popkins would pop out the short. So there'd be 2 away runners at first and second. Then Ricky Rodriguez, an infield single, his second infield single of the day, as a diving stop by Juan Avila. Avila could not get to the ball in time. It caromed off his glove, and Rodriguez would reach. So the bases were full with 2 outs. That brought up Logan Ox, and Ox promptly delivered a 2 RBI single into center field, scoring both Yezzo and Haar, and giving the Wild Things this 3-0 lead. Nick Ferdinand would line out to third base to end the inning. Do up for the Wild Things here in the fourth. Alex McKeon, Austin Wolbrock, and Jamal Austin, 8, 9, and 1, facing Mike Devine. Devine came in to face Logan Ox last inning and ended up allowing the 2 RBI single to Ox. Neither of those runs charged to Mike Devine as the final line on the start pitcher for Lake Erie, Colin Feldman. 2 2/3 innings, giving up 3 runs, all earned on 3 hits, 2 walks, and no strikeouts. So Devine facing McKeon. Here's his pitch. And McKeon pops this one up in foul territory. That'll go back into the seats. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here in the top of the fourth. Wild Things lead 3-0. It's Mike Devine facing Alex McKeon. Devine looking into De La Rosa. He's set. Here's the 0-1. And McKeon, a line drive right at the first baseman, Jose Barraza, and that's out number 1. McKeon hit that ball very hard, but unfortunately right at the first baseman for the Lake Erie Crushers. And there's 1 away here in the fourth. That'll bring up the shortstop, Austin Wolbrock. Wolbrock 0 for 1. Flew out to right field his last time, and in yesterday's ball game, 0 for 1. Did walk twice. So was on base twice in yesterday's ball game, but had the ground out. The pitch fouled away at the plate. No balls and a strike here to Wolbrock. 0-1 the count. Or actually, he was 1 for 2 in that game. Excuse me, a single and a ground out. As that ball fouled off, Brian De La Rosa, the home plate umpire, Grant Henderson, giving Brian De La Rosa some time. The umpires today, Grant Henderson behind the plate, Brian Miller is on the bases for this contest. Wild Things lead 3-0 here in the top of inning number 4. 3 runs, 4 hits for your Wild Things. Still no hits for the Lake Erie Crushers. Devine looking in. He's set. Here's the 0-1. And Wolbrock takes this one for a strike. No balls and 2 strikes. Just hitting the inside corner. 0-2, nobody out here in the top of the fourth. Devine looking in. He's set. Here's the 0-2. And this ball popped up, and it'll go into the seats foul. Count remains no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count here. Nobody out, top of the fourth. Wild Things lead 3-0 over the Lake Erie Crushers. Crushers sit at second place in the Frontier League East, coming in a record of 13-9. Wild Things in fourth, a record of 11-12. The pitch, and that one's in the dirt for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Top of the fourth from Avon, Ohio. We said about 20 minutes outside of Cleveland. A lot of the hotels booked around the areas. The NBA Finals are going on. The Warriors versus the Cavaliers, as that one's called strike 3. And Wolbrock's retired, out number 2. So 2 up, 2 down here in the fourth for your Wild Things, and that'll bring up the center fielder, Jamal Austin. Austin 0 for 2 in this contest as he's flown out to right field in both at-bats. Devine looking in. Here's his pitch to Austin. And Austin checks his swing, but he goes around. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Wild Things center fielder. Devine set in the 0-1. Austin grounded to third. Past Avila into left field. That'll be a base hit. So a 2-out single here for Jamal Austin. Gets a base runner on. And Austin is someone you have to watch at first base. Leads the team with 9 stolen bases on the year. Has the speed to take second base. And that'll bring up the first baseman, Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo so far 0 for 1. A fly out, a walk, and a run scored. Devine looking in. Throw over to first. And Austin's back. The throw kind of taking Barraza to the right field, or to the left side of first base, as he had to come off the bag to make that catch. Devine set. Another throw over. And this one gets away from the first baseman, Barraza. So Jamal Austin able to move up on the throwing error by Mike Devine. E1, and Austin now stands at second base. Devine, that first throw we talked about was a little to the left-hand side of first base. Barraza had to come off the bag for it, and this time that throw was just way too wide for Barraza to even handle as it went back to the railing in front of the first base stands. Devine looking in. Has his sign from De La Rosa. And Austin caught too far off second base. Trying to get back to second. Now he's in a rundown. Devine to Casper. Casper tags Austin right before he gets into third. And he actually missed the tag. Austin's safe. He beats the rundown as the dive by Max Casper. Casper didn't touch Austin. So Austin moves up to third base. They had him picked off halfway between second and third. And Austin diving into third base. Max Casper misses the tag. So there's a runner at third now with 2 away for Jimmy Yezzo. An RBI opportunity now. Yezzo in the first series between these two teams ended up going 2 for 10, as he was 1 for 6 in the first game and then 1 for 4 in game 2. Devine set. Checks Austin at third. And the pitch. And this one's fouled away by Jimmy Yezzo. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Wild Things lead 3-0. 2 outs here in the top of the fourth. But Jamal Austin standing at third base. Devine looks in. Has his sign. He's set. And the pitch to Yezzo. And that one's in there for a strike. No balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count. Jamal Austin got the second base on an error and then was caught with too big a lead between second and third. However, he got into a rundown and beat the rundown, got into third base safely, the 0-2. And Yezzo pops this one away behind the stands. No balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count here on Jimmy Yezzo. As Jamal Austin stands at third. He singled, reached second on an error, and then got caught in a rundown and made it to third base. Devine's 0-2. Yezzo lined to the right field line, but it'll hook foul towards the Wild Things dugout. Count remains no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count. Jimmy Yezzo at the plate. Yezzo 2 home runs, 10 RBIs on the year. Wild Things lead 3-0 here in the top of the fourth with 2 outs. Jamal Austin standing at third. Here's the pitch. And that one's outside for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Good take there by Jimmy Yezzo. As that was ruled a stolen base for Jamal Austin as he got to third. So his 10th stolen base of the year as he leads this team in that category. Here's the pitch. And Yezzo, a fly ball towards left. Max Casper going out. He'll be called off by Parks Jordan, and he'll make the catch. That is out number 3. No runs on a hit, no errors, and a man left. And after 3.5, the score. Your Washington Wild Things 3, Lake Erie 0. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise, we ensure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of inning number 4. And your Wild Things currently lead this one 3-0 over the Lake Erie Crushers. And Foss, another 1-2-3 inning, in inning number 3, has set down the first 9 men he's faced in this ball game. And so far, so good. What can you say? Foss, 3 straight complete games coming into this one, is now working to try to get his 4th straight complete game here against Lake Erie and the Crushers. Sundays are Kids Club days at Consol Energy Park. Children 12 and under can join the club for free. They get lots of perks, including a t-shirt, giveaway items, and free tickets to all Kids Club days. For more information, log on to WashingtonWildThings.com or call the box office at 855-456-WILD. The Kids Club is sponsored by Kona Ice, Med Express, PA Leadership Charter School, Pepsi, and Frito-Lay. Due up for the Crushers here in inning number 4. We 1-2-3. Connor Oliver, Carlos Avila, and Jose Barraza to face Trevor Foss. Foss so far 9 up, 9 down, as Connor Oliver stepping in. Oliver 0 for 1 on the day. In yesterday's ball game, Oliver was 1 for 4 with 3 RBIs, driving in 3 of his team's 10 runs against Joliet. Facing Trevor Foss here. Foss looking in. Has his sign. Here's the pitch. Oliver bunting, but takes this one high for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count on the Lake Erie center fielder. Bottom of the 4th. Wild Things lead 3-0. Foss looking to McKeon. He has his sign, the 1-0. And takes this one for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. As Foss gets that one on the inside corner. One thing with talking to Foss that he really likes to do, he likes to work the corners of the plate, and especially down in the zone. He's a ground ball pitcher, uses his defense consistently, and likes to work the inside to outside to try to keep the hitters off balance. The 1-1. And that one's just low for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. He also talked about working on his changeup, as that's a pitch that he said wasn't coming along early in the season, but now has found its way into his arsenal. Here's the 2-1. And that one's a called strike on the inside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That inside corner working for Foss, especially against the right-handed batters in this one. 2-2, nobody out here in the bottom of the 4th. Connor Oliver, the lead-off man, up for Lake Erie. Foss set the 2-2. Oliver grounds this one to the right side and foul. So the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Out there, Zach Groats getting the balls. It went into fair territory. Flips it to a kid in the stands. Groats, really nice guy out there in the bullpen. Wild Things bullpen has been a strength, but Trevor Foss has also been a strength on the mound. Foss is 2-2. This one grounded to the shortstop. Wobrock, he has it, throw to first, and that's out number 1, 6-3. Oliver busting his butt down the line, and the throw just beating Connor Oliver. Now we'll bring up the second baseman, Carlos Avila. Avila 0 for 1, grounded out to second in his first at-bat. Avila yesterday was 3 for 5 with 2 RBIs against the Joliet Slammers in the Crushers' 10-2 victory. Wild Things lead 3-0 here in the bottom of the 4th. 3 runs on 5 hits for your Washington Wild Things. Foss set the pitch. This one ground to the right side. Brian Harr will handle it. Throw to first is in time as as Logan Hawks went after that ball. Smart play by Trevor Foss coming off the mound to cover first base, as he is able to get there in time and retire Carlos Avila, out number 2 here in the 4th, and that'll bring up the catcher, Jose Barraza. Barraza 0 for 1, a strikeout on the day. Yesterday he was 1 for 5 in the 10-2 victory. Did not drive in a run. as the runs drove in yesterday by Connor Oliver had 3 RBIs, Carlos Avila 2, Brian De La Rosa 2, Parks Jordan and Max Casper each had 1. The pitch. And this ball hit the left field deep, but it'll hook foul. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the first baseman, Jose Barraza. Barraza struck out on a pitch in the dirt last time. With Foss, the main 3 pitches he uses, he has a fastball, changeup, curveball. And that curveball really gets guys swinging in the dirt. Also seen a slider every now and then. Here's the 0-1. And that one's high for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Foss really works the plate well on the mound. As we said, inside, outside to the corners. Likes to work down, but will also get you swinging high in the zone. The 1-1. Swung on a miss by Barraza. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count's been changing speeds. It's been anywhere from 89 to 81 on the day. He's changing speeds effectively on the mound. Foss looking into McKeon. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Wild Things lead 3-0. Foss set the 1-2. And this one grounded to first. Ox has it. He'll flip onto Foss covering, and that is out number 3. Another 1-2-3 inning for Trevor Foss. And so far, it's 12 up, 12 down for the Lake Erie Crushers, and through 4, the score. Your Washington Wild Things 3, Lake Erie nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of inning number 5, and your Wild Things currently lead this one 3-0. Wild Things held off the board last inning as Alex McKeon grounded out and Austin Wobrock struck out. Then Jamal Austin would single and reach to third on an error and a stolen base, and Jimmy Yezzo would fly out to end things in inning number 4. New pitcher for the Lake Erie Crushers is Devin Malone. So Malone taking over here in inning number 5. Malone on the year has a record of 1-0, a 2.45 ERA, is appearing in his 11th game. Has thrown 7 1/3 innings, giving up 2 runs, 2 earned on 5 hits, 8 walks, and 3 strikeouts. So the right-hander Devin Malone taking over for Mike Devine. The Devine goes an inning and a third in relief of the starting pitcher, Colin Feldman. Doesn't give up a run in his inning and a third on just 2 hits. He struck out 1 and did not walk a batter. So again, for Mike Devine, 1 1/3. No runs, 2 hits, 1 strikeout, and no walks. The first batters to face Devin Malone here in the 5th will be Brian Haar, Dave Popkins, Ricky Rodriguez, 3, 4, and 5 to face the Lake Erie Crushers right-hander. Haar stepping in. Still no official at-bat for Brian Haar yet. In the first inning, he was hit by a pitch, and then he walked his last time up. And right now, Chris Mogiardi, the manager for Lake Erie, having a conversation with the home plate umpire as something, I guess, didn't look right as Devin Malone was finishing his warm-up tosses, but now I guess everything's okay. Malone gets a laugh out of it, and the trainer heading back to the dugout. So the trainer and Chris Mogiardo came out to check on, or Mogardo, excuse me, came to check on Devin Malone. But Malone just shakes him off, says, "I'm fine," and the inning will start. Brian Haar, the batter, here in the top of the 5th to lead things off for your Washington Wild Things. Wild Things currently lead 3-0 over the Lake Erie Crushers. Wild Things looking to get back to 500. Their record currently sits at 11-12. They've been bouncing back and forth between 500 and under 500. Here's the pitch. And Haar takes high for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count. So Devin Malone taking over. 1-0, 2.45 ERA. Just 2 runs given up in 10 appearances. This being his 11th. Malone looking into De La Rosa. Has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch. And that one's high as well, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. The third pitcher used by the Lake Erie Crushers today is Colin Feldman, went 2 2/3. Then Mike Devine went an inning and a third. Now Malone, the pitch. Harsh swing and a miss on the ball outside. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count. Trevor Foss so far doing very well on the mound. 12 up and 12 down. Malone set the 2-1. And Har, a fly ball to right field. Norris going a couple steps to his right, and he'll make the catch. That's out number 1. 1 man away here in the 5th for your Wild Things, and that brings up the right fielder, Dave Popkins. Popkins right now is 0 for 2, has popped out to the shortstop, Max Casper, in both at-bats. Last time up had runners at first and second and could not come through, so he'll look to get on here with 1 out. Devin Malone set, and the pitch to Popkins. Swing and a miss by Dave, no balls and a strike. Scoring recap so far, RBI double by Nick Ferdinand in the second. Got things started for your Wild Things, gave them a 1-0 lead. Then with the bases loaded and 2 away, Logan Ox delivered a 2 RBI single from him, and your Wild Things have the 3-0 lead. The next pitch is outside for a ball, 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count on Dave Popkins. Devin Malone, the third man to work in this game for Lake Erie. Malone's 1-1. Popkins swings and misses at this one. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Popkins leads the team in average, hitting .324, followed by Alex McKeon at .300. Malone's pitch, and that one bounces before the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And then after McKeon, the next closest man is Logan Ox, hitting .250. So a lot of averages below .250 for the Wild Things, trying to raise them up here, as the offense has been clicking as of late. Here's the 2-2. And that one's high, ball 3. 3 balls and 2 strikes, had an 8-0 lead in Trevor Foss's last game before that one got rained out. And the offense has been coming through. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Malone looking in. Has his sign. He's set. Here's the 3-2. And Popkins, a line drive to center field. Oliver staying right where he is and making the catch. That's out number 2. 2 away here in the top of the 5th. And that'll bring up the third baseman, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez 2 for 2. 2 singles, 2 runs scored to this point. Both his singles hit on the infield. As his first single, Max Casper made a diving stop on the ball but couldn't get to his feet quick enough to throw him out. And then on his last at-bat, he hit a ground ball to third. Juan Avila made a diving stop, and the ball caromed off his glove, so he could not throw Ricky Rodriguez out. So Rodriguez 2 for 2, facing Devin Malone with 2 away in the top of the 5th. Wild Things lead 3-0 the pitch. And that one's low and in the dirt, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Rodriguez, been a versatile player for these Wild Things, has played left, third, and designated hitter so far this season for the Wild Things. The 1-0. And Rodriguez takes this one for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here from All Pro Freight Stadium in Avon, Ohio. Ricky Rodriguez, the Los Angeles native. Malone's 1-1. And that one's high and inside for a ball. 2 balls and a strike as Rodriguez has to jump out of the way. 2-1, 2 outs. Wild Things have a 3-0 lead right now. 3 runs on 5 hits. Malone looking in. Has his sign. He's set the 2-1. And this one's taken outside, ball 3. So after the count sat at 1-1, now a 3-1 count here to Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez looking to reach base for the 3rd time tonight. Malone set. Here's the 3-1. And this ball's popped up. Foul territory. Jose Barraza going over to give it a look, but it'll fall into the seats foul. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Full count. Logan Ox, the on-deck batter for your Washington Wild Things. Drove in 2 runs with a single his last time up. But 3-2, 2 outs, top of the 5th. Wild Things lead 3-0. Nick Ferdinand, Logan Ox driving in the runs today. Devin Malone, his first inning of work. Retired the first two men he's faced as Brian Harr flew out and Dave Popkins flew out. Malone looking in. Has his sign. He's set. Here's the 3-2. And that one's outside for ball 4. First walk of the day for Malone. And the Wild Things get a 2-out base runner. And with Chris Mogiardo, last time we saw him when Lake Erie was in Washington at Consol Energy Park, he uses a lot of pitchers in the game, uses a bunch of different combinations to try to get the outs he needed. As we said already, the third pitcher to work here in inning number 5, and that brings up Logan Ox. Ox 1 for 2, a 2 RBI single. His last time, he's also flown out today. Malone set the pitch. Ox, a line drive, base hit into right field. So Ox now has 2 hits on the night. He's 2 for 3. His second single as he stands on first, and there's runners at first and second here with 2 away, and that'll bring up the left fielder, Nick Ferdinand. Ferdinand, 1 for 2 so far, an RBI double in the second, and lined out to third base his last time. Ferdinand signed before last night's ball game, made his Wild Things debut last night, played in left field, playing in left field again today. Ricky Rodriguez at second, he reached on a walk. Logan Ox at first, he singled. Malone looking into Ferdinand. Has his sign. Here's the pitch. And takes low for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count on Nick Ferdinand. Facing Devin Malone. Righty on righty. 2 outs, top of the 5th. Wild Things lead 3-0. Malone has his sign. He's set. Checks Rodriguez at second. The 1-0. And Ferdinand fouls this one back to the screen. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count, 2 away here in the top of the 5th. Ferdinand looking to come through and add some insurance on for your Wild Things. 11 home runs, 29 RBIs for the York Revolution a year ago. Was 1 for 8 to start the season for York this year. Malone set. Here's the 1-1. And Ferdinand takes in the dirt, gets by catcher Brian De La Rosa, and Rodriguez and Ox will both move up. Runners now at second and third with 2 away. Ox moves up to second, Rodriguez to third, and now Ferdinand a real opportunity to blow this game open. 3-0 lead currently for the Washington Wild Things. Ricky Rodriguez stands at third. He walked. Logan Ox at second. He reached on a single. It's a good opportunity for Nick Ferdinand. We'll see if he can come through. Devin Malone, the righty on the mound. Nick Ferdinand at the plate. Malone looking into his catcher. Has his sign. He's set. Checks Rodriguez at third. Here's the pitch. Ferdinand takes it outside. Ball 2. 2 balls and a strike here to the left fielder, Nick Ferdinand. Actually, it's 3-1, excuse me. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 on, 2 out for the Wild Things. The pitch. And Ferdinand into left field. That's a base hit. Rodriguez will score. Ox coming around third. Here's the throw. It's not in time. Logan Ox scores a 2 RBI double for Ferdinand. Has 3 RBIs on the night. And your Wild Things now lead it 5-0 here in the 5th inning. Rodriguez and Ox come in on the RBI single. And the Wild Things have broken this game open against the Lake Erie Crushers. Ferdinand now has 3 RBIs on the night. Logan Ox has the other 2, the 2 new guys coming through for the Wild Things. And that'll bring up the catcher, Alex McKeon. McKeon 0 for 2. A fly out and a line out. Ferdinand, a 2-out, 2 RBI single, takes his lead from first. Malone set, pitch to McKeon in the dirt, snap throw to first, and it gets into right field towards the Wild Things bullpen. Ferdinand gonna go round second, head for third. Here comes the throw. Ferdinand reaches on an error by the catcher, Brian De La Rosa. A 2-base error now has Nick Ferdinand at third with 2 away on the errant throw by Brian De La Rosa. They were trying to catch Nick Ferdinand off guard at first base, almost got him, but the throw by Brian De La Rosa was up the right field line, ended up in the Wild Things bullpen, and allowed Nick Ferdinand to move all the way to third base with 2 outs. McKeon another opportunity to drive in a run. 1 ball, no strikes, the count here to Alex McKeon after that ball was in the dirt. Malone looking in. Has his sign. He's set. 2 runs in already for your Wild Things, the 1-0. McKeon fouls this one back to the screen. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Nick Ferdinand had a 2 RBI single and moved up to third on the throwing error by Brian De La Rosa. Has 3 of the team's 5 RBIs today. Malone looking in. Has his sign. Checks Ferdinand, the 1-1. And McKeon a fly ball. Shallow center. Max Casper going out. Now Connor Oliver coming in, and he will make the catch. That is out number 3. The Wild Things add 2 more runs here in the 5th on 2 hits, no errors, and a man left. And after 4.5 the score, your Washington Wild Things 5, Lake Erie nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. PALCS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. PALCS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to PALCS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School. Lead, don't follow.
We're back here in the bottom of inning number 5. You're listening to the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Currently, the Wild Things lead it 5-0 here in the bottom of the 5th as they score 2 more runs in the top of inning number 5. And Trevor Foss, what can you say so far? 12 up, 12 down. Retired every batter he's faced so far. He's thrown 3 straight complete games, and he is just in complete control on the mound tonight, keeping these Lake Erie hitters off balance. He's changing speeds, changing sides of the plate, changing pitch height. He's just doing it all well right now through his first 4 innings of work. Do have to face him here in the 5th. William Beckwith, Juan Avila, Brian De La Rosa, 4, 5, and 6 to face Trevor Foss. Don't forget about the Antonio Brown Softball Challenge, which takes place tomorrow at Consol Energy Park. Tickets for the event are available at the box office or online. For more information, give the box office a call at 866-456-WILD. That Antonio Brown Softball Challenge taking place at Consol Energy Park tomorrow night at 7:05 p.m. The PA Rebellion are off that day, so come out and see a softball game at Consol Energy featuring Antonio Brown, Marquise Pouncey, Mike Pouncey, Le'Veon Bell. Lots of Pittsburgh sports stars in that game and sports stars from around the professional ranks. It'll be a fun game. William Beckwith stepping in. Beckwith struck out in his last at-bat. And William Beckwith actually played for the Washington Wild Things in 2014 while with the Wild Things, played in 61 games, had a .223 average with 7 home runs and 36 RBIs for the Wild Things back in 2014. Did not play in the 2015 season as he takes the first pitch for a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. Foss set in the 1-0, and Beckwith takes this one high as well, 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes the count to the designated hitter for the Lake Erie Crushers. Played for the Wild Things in 2014. Now a member of the Crushers. Here's the 2-0. Beckwith, a ground ball, base hit into center field. That's the first hit of the day for the Lake Erie Crushers. And the perfect game bid is over for Trevor Foss as he allows the single. As he laughs about it with Brian Haar. Gives Austin Woldrock short a kind of shoulder shrug, saying, come on, man. But first base hit for the Lake Erie Crushers. And the perfect game bid is over. William Beckwith at first base now with the single. That brings up the third baseman, Juan Avila. Foss set. Here's the pitch to Avila. And a swing and a miss. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Lake Erie third baseman. Trevor Foss on the mound allowed his first hit. No runs on a hit and 2 errors for the Crushers. 5 runs on 7 hits. No errors for the Wild Things. Foss is 0-1. And it hits Avila. So now there are 2 on here with nobody out in the 5th inning. And after allowing that base hit, he hits Juan Avila. And that'll bring up the catcher, Brian De La Rosa. De La Rosa 0 for 1 in this contest. And in Sunday's game, De La Rosa was 1 for 5 with 2 RBIs. scored 2 runs himself in that 10-2 Lake Erie victory. Currently, Wild Things lead 5-0 here in the bottom of the 5th. Nobody out, 2 on for the Lake Erie Crushers. Foss set. Checks Beckwith at second. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed by Brian De La Rosa. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. William Beckwith at second. He singled, got the first hit of the game for the Lake Erie Crushers. And then Juan Avila at first. He was hit by a pitch. Foss retired the first 12 Lake Erie Crushers he faced. And now looking to get out of his first jam of the game. Foss has his sign. He's set. Checks Beckwith, and here's the 0-1. And this one ground to the right side. Ox handles it. A diving stop to second for 1 on to first. And it's not going to be in time for the double play. They do get a fielder's choice. 3-6. As Juan Avila retired at third, second, William Beckwith moves up to third. Runners to the corners with 1 away. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Parker Norris. Norris 0 for 1. He was 0 for... He didn't have an official at bat on Sunday. He did score 2 runs, as he walked twice in that one. 5-0 Wild Things lead here in the bottom of the 5th. 1 out, runners at the corners. Foss set, checks Beckwith at third. And the pitch. And that one's low for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Parker Norris, the right fielder. Foss looking in. Has his sign. He's set. And throw over to first. De La Rosa is back. For Brian De La Rosa at first base. He does have 2 steals on the year. Here's the pitch. And this one lined to left field, hooking, and will go foul. The count goes to 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. Wild Things lead 5-0 over the Lake Erie Crushers. Trevor Foss on the hill. Foss currently with runners at first and third, and 1 out, gave up his first hit of the game here in the top of the 5th. Foss is 1-1. And that one's high for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. Since giving up that single, Juan Avila was hit by a pitch, and Brian De La Rosa reached on a fielder's choice. Avila was cut down at second base. So there's 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. William Beckwith stands at third. He had the first hit of the game. He singled. And now Brian De La Rosa at first after his fielder's choice. Another throw over there. And De La Rosa back again. Trevor Foss on the hill. 3 straight complete games coming into this one. He's set. And the 2-1. And this ball hit the left field. Going back a couple steps is Ferdinand. And he will make the catch. That's out number 2. Beckwith looking to score. Here's the throw. There will be no throw to the plate. William Beckwith scores. A sacrifice fly for Parker Norris. And the Wild Things lead is cut now to 5-1 as Lake Erie gets on the board. Ferdinand Smart throwing the ball to second, not allowing Brian De La Rosa to move up to scoring position. And it's now 5-1. That'll bring up Parks Jordan, the left fielder. Jordan today 0 for 1. And in Sunday's game was 1 for 1 as he pinch hit for Brendan Constantino, and he drove in a run. Foss set. Checks first. And the pitch. And that one's taken for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Parks Jordan facing Trevor Foss. 2 outs after the sac fly RBI by Parker Norris. Allowed William Beckwith the score. It's 5-1, Washington Wild Things. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. No balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count. Foss so far 4 strikeouts through 4 2/3 innings of work. Hasn't had a strikeout since the 3rd inning. Foss looking into McKeon. Has his sign. He's set. And the 0-2. And that one's low for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Trevor Foss making his sixth start of the year. 7th appearance, as he does have a save. Appeared as a closer in the game in game 2 against these Lake Erie Crushers last time. Here's the 1-2. And this one's popped up behind the stadium, and the count will remain 1 ball and 2 strikes. Trevor Foss, the Week 4 Frontier League Player of the Week on the mound right now. Currently sits with a record of 3-2. Does have 1 save on the season. As he's here facing Parks Jordan with 2 outs in the 5th. Up 5-1. Foss has his sign. He's set. And the 1-2. And a swing and a miss. Ball in the dirt. McKeon will tag out Jordan, and that is out number 3. The 5th strikeout victim for Trevor Foss, but a run does come in the inning on 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. And after 5, the score. Your Washington Wild Things 5, Lake Erie 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get to sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Pitching change for the Lake Erie Crushers as Colby Moore will enter this one. No record, a 2.84 ERA, is appearing in his 7th game. Has thrown in 6 1/3 innings, giving up 2 runs, both earned, on 6 hits, 3 walks, and 5 strikeouts. The final line on Devin Malone, he went an inning, giving up 2 runs, both earned, on 2 hits, 1 walk, and no strikeouts. So Colby Moore takes the hill. The first men to face him here in the 6th, Austin Wobrock, Jamal Austin, and Jimmy Yezzo, 9-1-2, facing off against Colby Moore. Game 1 of this 3-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. And if you haven't heard, country artist Chris Young will be in concert at Consol Energy Park on August the 25th. Tickets for that are available at Ticketmaster.com. That concert in the middle of a 10-game homestand for your Washington Wild Things. The Wild Things are off on that night. It's a Monday night. So come out to Consol Energy Park and enjoy a great concert by a great country singer in Chris Young. As we're getting ready for the top of the 6th, as we said, your Wild Things up 5-1 here over the Lake Erie Crushers. As Colby Moore, the new batter. Austin Wobrock steps in. And Wobrock so far in this one 0 for 2. A fly out and a strikeout. Colby Moore looks in, the new pitcher for Lake Erie. He's set, and the pitch coming to Wobrock. And a line ground ball to short. Max Casper has it. Throw on to first. And that's out number 1. 1 pitch, 1 away here in the 6th for Colby Moore out of the bullpen. And that'll bring up the center fielder, Jamal Austin. Austin 1 for 3. And last time he was on base, he singled in the 4th. Also 2 flyouts. But last time he was on, a very peculiar situation is he was on first, moved up on a throwing error by at that point was Mike Devine. Then, as the first pitch coming, he'll take for a strike, no balls and a strike. Then after moving up on the air, he was caught with a big lead between 2nd and 3rd. Devine walked over to him, and then Austin started the rundown, and he ended up beating the rundown, getting into 3rd base as Max Casper would dive and miss the tag. Austin lines this one in the left center field gap. This will get down. Austin around first. He's heading to 2nd. It's got by Connor Oliver's throw in will hold Austin to a double. So a 1-out double gives the Wild Things another runner in scoring position as they look to get that run back that they gave up in the top of the 6th. Austin on 2nd with 1 away. That ball hit very hard by Jamal Austin. It split the gap between Connor Oliver and Parks Jordan out there in the outfield and allowed him to get in there to second. That'll bring up the designated hitter, Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo so far on the day, 0 for 2. He walked and scored a run in the third inning and has flown out twice. Moore set, checks Austin at second, and the pitch. And this ball grounded softly to short. Casper has it, throw on to first, and that's out number 2. Meanwhile, Jamal Austin moving up to third base as he had a nice lead from second base, but Casper had no play on him at third base. So Austin moves up, and manager Chris Mogiardo is coming out to the mound, and we're going to have another pitching change. So we're going to take another break here on the MSA Sports Network. You're listening to coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball.
Be sure to check out MSASports.net every day this spring for the scores, the daily standings, and the weekly rankings, plus daily high school sports broadcasts as well. In May, we will have exclusive coverage of the WPIL baseball and softball playoffs, the WPIL boys volleyball and tennis championships, and the WPIL boys and girls track and lacrosse championships. Anytime, anywhere, always there, every day this spring on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Another pitching change for the Lake Erie Crushers, as this is their 5th pitcher to work here through 5 2/3 innings. Keegan Kadati. Kadati enters 1-0, 3.85 ERA, appearing in this his 15th game. Has thrown in 11 2/3 innings, giving up 9 runs, 5 earned on 14 hits, 10 strikeouts, and 5 walks on the season. So far, the line on Colby Moore, 2/3 of an inning, giving up. He is responsible for Jamal Austin at third, but so far no runs on 1 hit, no walks, and no strikeouts for Colby Moore. So Gadati, the first man to face him with 2 outs, will be the third baseman Brian Haar. As Gadati finishing his warm-up tosses. Jamal Austin at third base, he reached on a double that split the left center field gap. Then after he reached second base, he moved up on a ground out by Jimmy Yezzo, putting him at third base with 2 away. So we're ready here in the top of inning number 6. 2 outs. Brian Haar steps in. Your Wild Things lead 5-1. Looking to get that run back as Jamal Austin standing at third base. Brian Haar, the leader in this team in RBIs and home runs, 5 and 15 respectively. Gadati looking in, has his sign, checks third. Here's the pitch. And Haar takes this one for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on Brian Haar. Haar 0 for 1. Was hit by a pitch in the first and walked and scored in the third. Gadati set the 0-1. Haar takes this one outside for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Count even at 1-1. The 4th time through the Wild Things lineup already here in the 6th. As they scored 5 runs on 8 hits. The Crushers 1 run on 1 hit. Gadati's 1-1. Haar swings and fouls this one off his foot, and the count goes to 1-2. As that never feels good. Hit off the shin area of Brian Haar. He seems to be okay as he's walking it off. Keegan Gadati, as we said, the 5th pitcher to work here for the Lake Erie Crushers in inning number 6. And manager Chris Mogardo is one who likes to use a lot of pitchers out of the bullpen, throwing a third of an inning here, 2/3 here. A lot of his pitchers, a lot of appearances, but not a lot of innings thrown. Here's the 1-2. And Haar will foul this one off at the plate. A tough pitch as it was below the knees, and the count goes to 1-2. It's the fastest pitch we've seen all night as Gadati got that one in there at 93. Gadati looking in to Brian Haar. He has his sign. He's set. Checks Austin at third. Here's the 1-2. And Har a chopper to the left side. That'll go foul. Jamal Austin tried to make a barehanded play, the base runner, but he could not get it. So Wanavila gets it with the glove and throws him into the stands. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Wild Things lead 5-1 over the Lake Erie Crushers in Game 1 of the 3-game series. Gadati looking in. He has his sign. He's set. And the 1-2. And that one's way outside for a ball. Count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Keegan Gadati, appearing in this his 15th game, has thrown in 11 2/3 innings of work. Gadati set. And the 2-2. And this ball popped up, and it'll go behind the stands. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2, 2 away. Keegan Gadati in from the bullpen. Jamal Austin at third base. He reached on a double and moved up on the ground out by Jimmy Yezzo. Gadati looking into his catcher, De La Rosa. Has his sign. He's set. Checks Jamal Austin at third. And the 2-2. And Har takes a called strike 3. And the inning is over. So no runs for your Wild Things on 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. And after 5.5 to score, your Washington Wild Things 5, Lake Erie 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute? That keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, currently in the bottom of inning number 6, and your Washington Wild Things lead this one 5-1. The Lake Erie Crushers got their first run back in the bottom of the 5th as William Beckwith came through with the first hit of the game for the Lake Erie Crushers. Then Juan Avila was hit by a pitch to put runners at first and second. Brian De La Rosa would ground into a fielder's choice as Juan Avila was cut down at second base. There was 1 out and a runner on the corners. Then Parker Norris hit a sacrifice fly to left field that scored William Beckwith and made it 5-1. Parks Jordan would strike out to end the bottom of the 5th. Due up here in the bottom of the 6th for Lake Erie, Max Casper, Connor Oliver, and Carlos Avila taking on Trevor Foss on the mound. Foss threw 5 innings, just that 1 run on 1 hit, and no errors by the Washington Wild Things. And if Clearview Federal Credit Union has branches in Canonsburg, McMurray, and all over southwestern Pennsylvania, visit clearviewfcu.org today to find one near you. Clearview FCU, one of the sponsors here of this broadcast. Also sponsoring this broadcast, Bethany College, Consol Energy, and Trupar America. Trevor Foss out there for his 6th inning of work has thrown 3 straight complete games for your Washington Wild Things. Looking to do so again tonight here versus the Lake Erie Crushers. As we said, due up here, 9-1-2, Max Casper, Connor Oliver, and Carlos Avila. As right now, home plate umpire is checking with Alex McKeon behind the plate. And we are now ready for action. As Max Casper will lead things off, and actually, it will be Max Casper. Thought I saw a different number in the on-deck circle. Casper leading off. Casper 0 for 1 in this game. And on last night's ball game, Casper 1 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored. Max Casper, the batter. Casper, as we said, 0 for 1. One of Foss's 5 strikeout victims on the night. As Trevor Foss facing Casper. Foss has his sign. Here's the pitch. And this one grounded back to the mound. Foss tried to make a play. It'll go to Har. Har's throw to first is in time. A nice scoop by Logan Ox over there at first base. And there's out number 1 here in the 6th. Har, a low throw to first base as he was kind of falling towards center field. But Ox bails him out, picks it up in the dirt, and saves the error. That'll bring up the center fielder, Connor Oliver. Oliver on the day, 0 for 2. Grounded out twice in this one. Oliver was also the leadoff hitter in both games against the Washington Wild Things last time the Wild Things played the Crushers. Here's the pitch. And that one's low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the center fielder for Lake Erie. It's Trevor Foss out there for his 6th inning. Here's the 1-0. Oliver, a line drive to right field. Popkins going over. He's not going to make the catch. He'll cut it off in front of the wall. Here comes his throw into the infield, and it's a wild one, so it's not in time. Connor Oliver in there with a double. The second hit of the day for Lake Erie, and they have a man in scoring position here with 1 away against Trevor Foss. That'll bring up the second baseman, Carlos Avila. For Avila, 0 for 2, 2 ground outs. Grounded out to second both times. But Brian Harr has had to throw to 2 different people as he's thrown to first baseman Logan Ox, the first ground out, and then throw to Trevor Foss on the next ground out. Carlos Avila, the batter. Connor Oliver stands at second. He doubled with 1 out. Wild Things lead 5-1. Foss set the pitch. And that one's low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Here, Trevor Foss on the hill. Foss looking into McKeon. Has his sign. He's set, checks second. And the 1-0. And that one lined to right field. Brian Harr going out. Makes the leaping catch. Quick throw back to first. And getting back in there is Connor Oliver. So Brian Harr a couple steps backwards and then leaped up. Made a nice catch. Robbing Carlos Avila of a hit. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Jose Barraza. Barraza 0 for 1. Strikeout and a ground out to this point. As Connor Oliver stands at second, he reached on a double with 1 away. Trevor Foss looking in, 5 2/3 so far, just giving up that 1 run on 2 hits. Foss set, checks second. And the pitch. And this ball grounded to second base. Brian Harr out in shallow right. Gets it, throw to first. And that is out number 3. So no runs on a hit, no errors, and a man left. And after 6, the score. Your Washington Wild Things 5, Lake Erie Crushers 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of inning number 7. Keegan Gadati will stay in there as he got the final out in inning number 6, striking out Brian Harr to end the Wild Things threat in that inning. Last inning for the Wild Things, 1 hit as Austin Wobrock grounded out, then Jamal Austin doubled, and Jimmy Yezzo grounded out. Then Keegan Gadati came in and struck out Brian Harr to end things in the top of the 6th. Due up for the Wild Things here in the 7th, Dave Popkins, Ricky Rodriguez, and Logan Ox, 4, 5, and 6 to face Keegan Gadati. Wild Things currently up 5-1. And hey fans, Washington County's got something for you. Indoors, outdoors, history, sports, gaming, shopping. This is the place for your next adventure. Brought to you by Washington County Tourism Promotion Agency. Visit them at visit WashingtonCountyPA.com. I'd like to remind you tonight's broadcast brought to you by Consol Energy, Bethany College, Clearview Federal Credit Union, PA Leadership Charter School, Pittsburgh Comics, True Par America, Undo's, State Line Grocery and Hotspot, People's Natural Gas, Chick-fil-A, Henderson Brothers, Penn Station Subs, Washington County Tourism Promotion Agency, and AAA. Keegan Gadati back out there. As we said, he'll face Dave Popkins, Ricky Rodriguez, and Logan Ox, 4, 5, and 6. Here from All-Pro Freight Stadium on the MSA Sports Network in Avid, Ohio, I'm Zach Ziegler taking you through the 2016 season for your Washington Wild Things. Wild Things lead 5-1. As Nick Ferdinand having a good day, driving in 3 runs, and Logan Ox driving in the other 2 for your Washington Wild Things. Popkins steps in. He's 0 for 3. 2 pop-outs and a fly-out. Gadati set the pitch. And Popkins takes this one inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count on Popkins. Popkins has been batting left-handed all night as he's only faced right-handers in this game. He is a switch hitter. Here's the 1-0. And this ball's fouled away. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Nobody out here in the top of the 7th. Wild Things lead 5-1. Dave Popkins in his second year with the Wild Things at the plate. Gadati set. Here's the 1-1. And that one's a called strike on the inside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Popkins kind of shaking his head at that one. It did just hit that inside corner. Gadati set. Here's the 1-2. And that one's in the dirt for a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. Nobody out here in the top of the 7th. 5 runs, 8 hits for the Wild Things. 1 run, 2 hits, 2 errors for the Lake Erie Crushers. As Gadati steps off, wants to go over the signs again. Didn't see one he liked. 2-2. Gadati has his first sign here. He's set. Here's the pitch. And this one's taken inside for a ball. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Full count. Ricky Rodriguez, the on-deck batter for the Wild Things. Gadati has his sign, the 3-2. And that one's in the dirt. And home plate umpire took the worst of that one. A 90-mile-an-hour pitch bounced before home plate. Got by Brian De La Rosa and hit the home plate umpire right in the chest piece. So they'll give home plate umpire Grant Henderson some time to shake that one off. As stepping in, and now Ricky Rodriguez. Dave Popkins reaches on the full count walk, and you could hear the smack of that ball from up here. As it smacked off the chest protector of the home plate umpire. Popkins at first with the leadoff walk. Gadati set, and the pitch to Rodriguez. Checks his swing and takes a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Ricky Rodriguez. Gadati has his sign from De La Rosa. Checks Popkins at first. The pitch. Rodriguez grounded to second base. Handled there to second for 1 to first. It's a double play. 4-6 to 3. Retires Popkins, and there are now 2 away here in the 7th. 4-6-3. Taylor made for Carlos Avila over there at second base. And there are now 2 outs. That brings up the first baseman, Logan Ox. Ox 2 for 3 today. A 2 RBI single in the 3rd. As with the bases loaded, he drove in Jimmy Yezzo and Brian Haar. Wild Things lead 5-1. Here in the top of the 7th, 2 outs from All-Pro Freight Stadium. Gadati's pitch. And this ball's popped up foul territory, and it'll go back to the seats. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on Logan Ox. Keegan Gadati allowed that walk to Dave Popkins, but he was erased on the double play. Gadati looking in. He's set. And the 0-1. Ox takes this one low for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1, 2 away here in the top of the 7th. Wild Things lead 5-1. Logan Ox at the plate. The left-hander facing Keegan Gadati, the right-handed pitcher. Gadati set. Here's the 1-1. And Ox, a line drive over short, and it'll fall. Logan Ox's 3rd base hit of the night, 3rd single. And he is on with 2 away for the Wild Things. That'll bring up Nick Ferdinand, the left fielder. Ferdinand, 2 for 3 himself, has driven in 3 runs as he doubled in inning number 2, lined out in the 3rd, and then hit a 2 RBI single in the 5th. Nick Ferdinand batting. 5 runs, 9 hits now for the Wild Things as Logan Ox adds his 3rd hit of the night. Ox's first multi-hit game since joining the Wild Things. Gaddotti set. Here's the pitch to Ferdinand. And that's high for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. The newest Wild Things driving in all the runs tonight. Logan Ox has 2 RBIs. He stands at first. Nick Ferdinand at the plate has 3 RBIs. Gaddotti set. Here's the pitch. And that one's a called strike on Ferdinand. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. 2 away here in the top of the 7th. Keegan Gaddotti looks in. Has his sign. He's set. And the 1-1 coming to Ferdinand. And this one lined to the right field. And getting it is Norris, and that is out number 3. Another hard hit ball by Ferdinand, but this one does not fall. No runs on a hit, no errors, and a man left after 6.5 the score. Your Washington Wild Things 5 and Lake Erie Crushers 1. We're going to send it down to the field for Take Me Out to the Ball Game here on the MSA Sports Network from All Pro Freight Stadium.
Take me out just the crowd. Buy something nice and cracker jam. I don't care if I ever get back nowhere. Root for my cause. It's a shame, 'cause it's restructure out at the old ball game.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. PALCS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. PALCS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to PALCS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School. Lead, don't follow.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of inning number 7. And your Wild Things currently lead this one 5-1. Last inning for Trevor Foss. Did give up another hit as he got Max Casper to ground out. Connor Oliver doubled. Carlos Avila was robbed of a hit by Brian Haar. A nice leaping play at second base by Haar to retire Carlos Avila. Then Jose Barraza would ground out to end the inning. Due up for the Crushers here in the 7th, William Beckwith, Juan Avila, and Brian De La Rosa, 4, 5, and 6 to face Trevor Foss. Foss in now for his 7th inning of work. As we said, he's thrown 3 straight complete games, and as of right now, there's no action in the Wild Things bullpen. But we'll see if they get him up with the Wild Things having a 5-1 lead here. And William Beckwith coming to the plate. There is action in the Lake Erie bullpen as a right-hander is loosening out there. Beckwith comes to the plate. Beckwith 1 for 2 today. A single and a strikeout. Got the first hit of the game for the Lake Erie Crushers. Foss set. Here's the pitch. And Beckwith takes this one for a strike on the inside corner. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on William Beckwith, the designated hitter tonight for the Lake Erie Crushers. Foss is 0-1. Beckwith checks his swing and takes strike 2. And Beckwith again has a gripe with that call. As in his first at-bat was arguing a lot with the home plate umpire Grant Henderson. And now having another argument with him here. 0-2. He steps back in. Foss has his sign. Here's the 0-2. This one grounded to the shortstop. Wolbrock charging. Has it throw to first. And that's out number 1. 6-3 on the putout. And there's one away for the Crushers here in the bottom of the 7th. That'll bring up the third baseman, Juan Avila. Avila 0 for 1. He's ground out and been hit by a pitch in this ball game. Bottom of the 7th, 1 away. Wild Things lead 5-1. Trevor Foss on the hill. For the Wild Things, 5 runs, 9 hits. For the Crushers, 1 run, 2 hits, 2 errors. Foss set. Here's the first pitch to Avila. And Avila takes it low for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Lake Erie third baseman. As manager Mo Gallardo came down to talk to his dugout and now goes back, so the timeout is finished, and Juan Avila at the plate. Foss set, here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss, 1 ball and 1 strike. Foss threw that one in there at 81, a changeup. Foss, the scouting report, throws anywhere from 89 to 81. Not a lot of speed, but he uses his location effectively. The 1-1 is lined into left field, and that'll be a base hit. The 3rd hit of the night for the Lake Erie Crushers gives them a 1-out base runner, and that'll bring up the catcher, Brian De La Rosa. De La Rosa so far 0 for 2. Strikeout and reached on a fielder's choice, as he gets the start behind the plate today, as Jose Barraza plays at first base. Barraza and De La Rosa, the 2 catchers for the Lake Erie Crushers. They play both frequently, as Barraza has played in every game. He's played a mixture of catcher and first base. Foss set. Checks Avila at first. Here's the pitch. This one line to left field past the diving Rodriguez. And back-to-back singles here with 1 out. Has runners at first and second for the Crushers. Down by 4. Crushers looking to get back into this. Trevor Foss looking to keep it at just 1 run. The 4th hit given up by Trevor Foss on the day. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Parker Norris. Norris 0 for 1. Strikeout and a sac fly RBI. First and second here for the Crushers with 1 away in the bottom of inning number 7. Juan Avila stands at second base and Brian De La Rosa at first. Back-to-back singles. Foss set. Checks second. Here's the pitch. And that one's in the dirt for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. After getting William Beckwith to ground out to start things here in the 7th, Foss allowing back-to-back singles to Juan Avila and Brian De La Rosa. Foss set, and the pitch. And that one is just high for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count. Alex McKeon behind the plate. Had to get up out of his squat to catch that one. Here from All-Pro Freight Stadium, Wild Things lead 5-1. Foss set. Checks second. Here's the pitch. And this one grounded short. Wobrock steps on second for 1 onto first, and it's a double play. The inning is over. Double play, 6-3, eliminates Brian De La Rosa at second, and there is no runs on 2 hits, no errors, and a man left. After 7, the score, your Washington Wild Things 5, Lake Erie 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get a sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Another pitching change for the Lake Erie Crushers as Juan Caballero will come on in the game now, replacing Keegan Gadotti. Caballero, no record on the year, a 2.84 ERA. Has pitched in this will be his 6th ball game, 1 start, 6 1/3 innings work, 2 runs, 2 earned on 8 hits, 4 strikeouts to 4 walks. Again, 0-0 with a 2.84 ERA. 2 final lines in now. Colby Moore's final line, 2/3 of an inning, gave up no runs on a hit. And for Keegan Gadotti, went 1 1/3, gave up no runs, 1 hit, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. The 6th pitcher used by Lake Erie here in inning number 8. And the first men to face him here in the 8th for the Wild Things, Alex McKeon, Austin Wolbrock, and Jamal Austin, 8, 9, and 1, due up to face Juan Caballero. Caballero was not present for the series against the Washington Wild Things the first time around at Consol Energy Park, as he was signed in between the two series. Alex McKeon stepping in, ready to start the top of the 8th here with your Wild Things up 5-1. McKeon on the day 0 for 3. 2 flyouts and a line out, as he looks to get on to lead off inning number 8. Wild Things with that 5-1 lead. You're listening to the MSA Sports Network from Avon, Ohio at All-Pro Freight Stadium. Your Wild Things lead 5-1. Caballero set. Here's the pitch. McKeon a swing and a miss. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the Wild Things catcher. McKeon had a big day against Windy City in Game 1 of the doubleheader in the last homestand. Went 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs. Caballero's 0-1. And this one's popped into the seats foul. Count goes to 0-2. It was nice of us to join us on the pregame show in between those two games. I was talking to McKeon about that, and he said when that ball came off the bat, he was just like, get out of here, and it did. And it gave the Wild Things a 5-3 win in that game. Currently leading 5-1 here over the Lake Erie Crushers. Caballero set the 0-2. This one grounded to third, and it'll be a base hit into left field. So Alex McKeon reaches to start the top of inning number 8 for your Wild Things, already leading 5-1. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Austin Wolbrock. The 10th hit of the day for your Washington Wild Things. 5 runs on 10 hits here in this first game of the 3-game series against the Lake Erie Crushers. Wolbrock stepping in 0 for 3. Flew out in the 2nd, struck out in the 3rd, and grounded out in the 6th. Here facing Juan Caballero, the 6th pitcher used by the Lake Erie Crushers. Caballero set the pitch, and Wolbrock takes this one high for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count. Juan Caballero here in his 6th ball game. Caballero's 1-0. And that one's outside, ball 2. 2-0, so after allowing the leadoff single, Caballero falls behind Austin Wolbrock, 2 balls and no strikes. Caballero looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the 2-0 to Wolbrock. And Wolbrock fly ball to left field. Parker Norris going back and towards right center. And he will make the catch, out number 1, almost collided with the center fielder, Colin Oliver, as both of them were calling for it. And Parker Norris is the one who makes the catch. So with 1 away, Jamal Austin stepping in. Austin 2 for 4. A single, a stolen base, and a double today. With 1 out here in the top of the 8th, your Washington Wild Things lead it 5-1. Alex McKeon stands on first. He had a leadoff single to start this inning. Caballero set, and the pitch to Austin. Austin bunting, and then takes this one high for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 5th time through the Wild Things order here in the 8th inning. Austin flew out in the 1st, flew out in the 3rd, then singled and stole a base in the 4th, and doubled in the 6th. Here's the 1-0. Austin takes this one high as well, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Alex McKeon on first base. 5 runs, 10 hits for your Wild Things. 1 run, 4 hits, 2 errors for the Lake Erie Crushers. Caballero's 2-0. Austin takes this one for a strike. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1, 1 out from All-Pro Freight Stadium here in Avon, Ohio. Caballero has his sign. He's set. And the 2-1. Austin will foul this one back into the seats. Count goes even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, top of the 8th. As Juan Caballero, the 6th pitcher to work in this game. And no pitcher has worked more than 2 2/3 innings. That was Colin Feldman, the starter, went 2 2/3. Mike Devine, 1 1/3. Devin Malone, an inning. Colby Moore, 2/3 of an inning. And Keegan Gadotti, 1 1/3. Here's the pitch. Austin, a short pop-up in the left field. Coming in is Parker Norris. He'll make the catch on a nice running play. And there are 2 away. 2 straight flyouts to right field. Parker Norris has had to run a lot for both of them. Running a lot to his right to catch the ball in the gap, hit by Austin Wobrock, and then coming in a long way to catch that short fly ball by Jamal Austin. And that'll bring up the designated hitter, Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo today 0 for 3. Has also walked and scored a run. Flew out in the first, walked and scored in the third, flew out in the fifth, and struck out in the sixth. Flew out in the first, walked in the third, flew out in the fourth, and grounded out in the sixth. Caballero has his sign. Here's the pitch to Yezzo. And Yezzo takes a strike, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Wild Things lead 5-1 here in Game 1 of this 3-game series against the Lake Erie Crushers. Caballero has his sign. Here's the 0-1. Yezzo, a swing and a foul tip. No balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count. Game 2 of this 3-game series tomorrow night, 7:05, can be heard right here on the MSA Sports Network. Wild Things have not yet announced who will start that game. The rotation kind of in limbo right now as they played the doubleheader on Wednesday night, and Connor Kendrick was cut before last night's ball game. Caballero set, checks first to pitch, and Yezzo takes this one outside for a ball, 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 to the count. Starting pitcher might not be certain, but one thing is certain. 7:05 right here on the MSA Sports Network. Zach Ziegler will be calling the action once again. Caballero set, checks McKeon at first, and the 1-2. Yezzo takes this one just outside for a ball. Count goes even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Juan Caballero working here in the 8th inning. The 6th pitcher for the Lake Erie Crushers. Caballero checks first. He's set. Here's the 2-2. And Yezzo pops this one up. Behind shortstop, Max Casper goes out, and he's called off by Parks Jordan. Jordan will make the catch, and that is out number 3. No runs on a hit, no errors, and a man left. And after 7.5 the score, your Washington Wild Things 5, Lake Erie 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Be sure to check out MSASports.net every day this spring for the scores, the daily standings, and the weekly rankings, plus daily high school sports broadcasts as well. In May, we will have exclusive coverage of the WPIAL baseball and softball playoffs, the WPIAL boys volleyball and tennis championships, and the WPIAL boys and girls track and lacrosse championships. Anytime, anywhere, always there, every day this spring on the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. I'm going to the bottom of inning number 8, and your score currently Wild Things 5, Lake Erie 1. Trevor Foss still out there, his 8th inning of work. As we said, he's thrown 3 straight complete games, and with his team up by 4, as long as it doesn't get into a save situation, I don't see a reason manager Greg Langben will pull him. He's only given up 4 hits, just the 1 run. He's been phenomenal again today. Really has been great for these Washington Wild Things this season, the ace of this rotation. Do have to face him here in the bottom of the 8th. We Parks Jordan, Max Casper, and Connor Oliver, 8, 9, and 1, facing Trevor Foss on the hill. Sundays are Kids Club days at Consol Energy Park. Children 12 and under can join the club for free. They get lots of perks, including a t-shirt, giveaway items, and free tickets to all Kids Club days. For more information, log on to WashingtonWildThings.com or call the box office at 855-456-WILD. The Kids Club is sponsored by Kona Ice, Med Express, PA Leadership Charter School, Pepsi, and Frito-Lay. Pinch hitter here for the Lake Erie Crushers. It'll be Daniel Aldrich pinch hitting for Parks Jordan. Aldrich on the year hitting .169, 2 home runs, and 9 RBIs. So Daniel Aldrich hitting for Parks Jordan. And the first pitch to him is a strike, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. So Parks Jordan ends the day 0 for 2. Foss set, here's the 0-1. Aldrich takes this one low for a ball, 1 ball and 1 strike. Daniel Aldrich appearing here in his 21st game, pinch hitting for Parks Jordan. Foss looking in, has his sign. Here's the 1-1. Aldrich swinging a miss there, 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count here on the Lake Erie now left fielder, pinch hitter Daniel Aldrich. Trevor Foss, 7 innings so far, 1 run, 4 hits. Foss set, here's the 1-2. And that one's outside for a ball, 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count, nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th. Wild Things lead 5-1 over the Lake Erie Crushers. Trevor Foss, the right-hander, the number 1 man in the Wild Things rotation. Here's the 2-2. And this one's fouled back to the screen. Count remains even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Trevor Foss has gone complete game in each of his last 3 starts. 7-inning complete game against Traverse City, 9-inning complete game against Normal, and a rain-shortened 6-inning complete game against Evansville. Foss set, here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss, he gets the strikeout. That's his 6th strikeout victim of the day here in the bottom of the 8th. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Max Casper. Casper 0 for 1. Struck out and grounded out in the contest so far, the number 9 hitter in the Lake Erie order. Trevor Foss looking in, has his sign, here's the pitch. And that one's in there for a strike. No balls and 1 strike. Foss, again, very good with the controls. Only walked 4 batters in his first 4 starts of the year. Hasn't walked anybody yet tonight. Foss set, here's the 0-1. And that one's low for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. And right now, when Trevor Foss takes the mound, it's a vote of confidence for these Washington Wild Things. They know they're going to have a very good chance to win the game with Foss on the hill. He's set, here's the 1-1. And this one's fouled away into the seats. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count, 1 away. Trevor Foss, the right-hander, just won the Week 4 Frontier League Pitcher of the Week on the mound. Foss looking into McKeon, has his sign, the 1-2. Grounded to short, Wobrock charging in. He has it, throw to first, and that's out number 2, 6-3 on the putout. First 2 men retired here in the bottom of inning number 8. Trevor Foss, 7 2/3 innings of work so far, just the 4 hits, the 1 run allowed, and that'll bring up the center fielder, Connor Oliver. Oliver today, 1 for 3. 2 ground outs and a double. As he doubled in the 6th, grounded out in the 1st and 4th innings. Trevor Foss, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. He's set, here's the pitch. And this ball grounded to the right side. Logan Ox, a diving attempt, but that'll be a fair ball and go to the Wild Things dugout. Oliver around first, heading to second. Popkins gets the ball. Here's the throw to third, and it is not in time. Oliver in there with a triple. Connor Oliver's 2nd hit of the day, and he gets in there. Runner at third for 2 outs for your Washington Wild Things. The Wild Things bullpen had to scurry as the ball wound up in that corner. A couple of chairs fell down. Popkins had to navigate that bullpen area. And Oliver reaches with a triple. The 5th hit for the Lake Erie Crushers, and that'll bring up the second baseman, Carlos Avila. Avila 0 for 2. Grounded out in the 1st and 4th and was robbed of a base hit on a leaping catch by Brian Haar in inning number 6. Haar taking a couple steps back on that play, then jumping up and getting the ball in the web of his glove for the out. Trevor Foss looking in. He has his sign. He's set, checks third. And the pitch. And that one's in there for a strike. No balls and a strike here to Carlos Avila. Runner at third, 2 outs. Connor Oliver over there at third. He tripled, collecting the 5th hit of the game for the Lake Erie Crushers. Foss set, checks third. And the 0-1. This one grounded softly to third. Ricky Rodriguez charging, handles it, throw to first, and that is out number 3. So no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. And after 8, the score, your Washington Wild Things 5, Lake Erie 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Another pitching change for the Lake Erie Crushers. Their 7th man to work in this game. And coming on will be Ryan Richardson. Richardson enters this game no record, a .490 ERA. Appearing in this his 11th game, has thrown in 7 1/3 innings of work, giving up 4 runs all earned on 7 hits, 1 walk, and 8 strikeouts. As we said, no record, and a .490 ERA. The final line for Juan Caballero, 1 inning of work, no runs allowed on 1 hit, no walks, and no strikeouts. Again, no Lake Erie pitchers thrown over 2 2/3 innings. Colin Feldman, the starter, went 2 2/3. So Ryan Richardson in now, and the men he will face here in the 9th for the Wild Things will be Brian Haar, Dave Popkins, and Ricky Rodriguez, 3, 4, and 5, facing off against Ryan Richardson. All Sunday home games are donation Sundays, brought to you by Goodwill. Fans are encouraged to bring gently used items to the ballpark on Sundays and enter to win prizes courtesy of Goodwill. And with the Wild Things up 5-1, still no action in that Washington Wild Things bullpen, so Trevor Foss is going to be given the chance to go his 4th straight complete game. As Brian Haar stepping in, Haar today is 0 for 2. Has also reached base twice, takes the first pitch outside for a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. He was hit by a pitch in the 1st, walked in the 3rd, flew out in the 5th, and struck out in the 6th. Brian Haar facing Ryan Richardson. Richardson set, and the 1-0. Haar swing and a miss, 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count against Brian Haar. Haar playing second base in tonight's game, has moved around the infield, played 3rd, short, and 2nd for the Wild Things this season. Richardson set, and the 1-1. Haar swings and fouls this one back into the seats. Count goes to 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out. Here in the top of the 9th, your Washington Wild Things lead it 5-1 over the Lake Erie Crushers. 5 runs, 10 hits for your Wild Things. 1 run, 5 hits for the Crushers. Richardson looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the 1-2. And that one's high, ball 2. Good take there by Brian Haar, evens the count here at 2-2 with nobody out. Ryan Richardson, Brian Haar, the first man he's faced here from Avon, Ohio to All-Pro Freight Stadium. Richardson set. Here's the 2-2. Haar takes this one low. Count goes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Dave Popkins would be the on-deck batter for the Washington Wild Things. Richardson from Spokane, Washington, pitched for the Gray South Shore Railcats a year ago. He's set. Here's the 3-2. And Haar, a chopper to the third base side. This one will go foul. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count here on Brian Haar. Nobody out here in the top of the 9th. Wild Things lead 5-1. Here from All-Pro Freight Stadium. Richardson looking into his catcher De La Rosa, has his sign. He's set. And the 3-2 to Haar. And Har pops this one up. Behind first base, now going to foul territory is Jose Barraza, and he'll make the catch. That's out number 1. One away for the Wild Things here in the 9th, and that brings up the right fielder, Dave Popkins. Popkins 0 for 3. Popped out in the first, popped out in the third, flew out in the 5th, and walked in inning number 7. Popkins facing off against Ryan Richardson. Some other scores from around the league. Schaumburg leads Windy City 6-4 in the top of the 6th. Gateway leads Normal 3-1 in the top of the 5th. And a final, Joliet defeated Traverse City 12-10 in 6 innings, a rain out there. Swing and a miss by Popkins, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Ryan Richardson retired Brian Har on a pop-out. Now has an 0-1 count here to Dave Popkins. Richardson looking in, has his sign. He's set. And the 0-1. Popkins takes this one for a strike. No balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count. Here on the Wild Things right fielders. Switch hitter's been batting left-handed all day against right-handed pitching. And Richardson set. Here's the 0-2. And that one's low for a ball. Good take there by Popkins. 1-2. Richardson tried to get him fishing, and Popkins would not oblige. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Richardson set the 1-2. Swing and a miss, and Popkins strikes out. And there are 2 away now here in the top of the 9th. That'll bring up the third baseman, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez is 2 for 3. 2 singles, a walk, hit into a double play as last time, and also scored 2 runs. His 2 hits on the day, both infield singles, as Max Casper and Juan Avila both made diving stops, but could not get to their feet fast enough to throw out Ricky Rodriguez. Ryan Richardson looking for a full inning here in the 9th. 2 away, Wild Things lead 5-1. Richardson set the pitch to Rodriguez. And Rodriguez takes a strike, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Wild Things third baseman. Rodriguez 2 home runs, 9 RBIs on the year. 3rd in the team in RBIs. Richardson looking to De La Rosa, has his sign. He's set. And the 0-1. And this one bounces up to the plate, 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count, 2 away. Wild Things lead 5-1. 5 runs, 10 hits for the Wild Things. 1 run, 5 hits, 2 errors for the Lake Erie Crushers. And as we said, no action in that Wild Things bullpen, as Foss is going to be allowed to pitch the 9th. Richardson set the 1-1. And line to left field, and that is a fair ball. Rodriguez's 3rd hit. He's coming into 2nd. There'll be no throw. He's in there with a stand-up double. And with 2 outs, the Wild Things have another runner in scoring position. And that'll bring up the first baseman, Logan Ox. Ox, 3 for 4, 2 RBIs on the night for him. Ox only bested by Nick Ferdinand offensively. Ferdinand 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs. So Rodriguez stands at 2nd. Ox a chance to drive in another run with 2 outs. As we said, he's 3 for 4. 3 singles and 2 RBIs. Richardson looking into his catcher, De La Rosa. He has his sign. He's set. And the pitch. Ox takes this one for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the Wild Things first baseman. 2 outs here in the top of the 9th. Wild Things lead 5-1. Here in this 11-hit attack. Richardson set. And the 0-1 to Ox. Ox takes this one, strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs from All-Pro Freight Stadium in Avon, Ohio. Home in the Lake Erie Crushers. Richardson looking in. Has his sign. He's set. And the pitch to Ox. Ox checks his swing, but it's low. Ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. No appeal there. Thought we were going to get appeal to the field umpire, Brian Miller. But Grant Henderson behind the plate says he didn't go around. 1-2. Richardson checks Rodriguez at 2nd. Here's the pitch. Ox checks his swing again, De La Rosa able to keep this ball in front of him. Count goes even at 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here at the top of the ninth, Wild Things lead 5-1 over the Lake Erie Crushers. Game 2 of this 3-game series being heard tomorrow night, 7:05 first pitch. The Wild Things have yet to name their starter for that one. Neither have the Lake Erie Crushers. So, pitching matchup still a mystery for tomorrow night. Game 2 of this 3-game series. Both rotations are in limbo, as for Lake Erie, they use a lot of different pitchers to start games. Richardson set. Here's the 2-2. And this one's fouled away, back behind the stadium. Count stays even at 2-2. Richardson gets that fastball in there at 90 miles an hour. Ricky Rodriguez at second base. He reached on a 2-out double. He has 3 hits on the night. Both Rodriguez and Ox have 3 hits on the evening. 2-2 the count. Richardson set. Checks Rodriguez, the 2-2. Ox popped up on the infield. Max Casper, right where he is, camps under it and makes the catch, and that is out number 3. Well, no runs on a hit, no errors, and a man left. And after 8.5 the score, your Wild Things 5, Lake Erie 1. Trevor Foss will go for his 4th straight complete game when we come back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the ninth, and your Wild Things lead this one 5-1 here from All Pro Freight Stadium in Avon, Ohio. Trevor Foss still out there, going for his 4th straight complete game. It would be his second 9-inning complete game if he can get it. Went 7 innings against the Traverse City Beach Bums in game 1 of the doubleheader. Complete game there, gave up 3 runs in the loss. Went a complete game, 9-inning game against the Normal Corn Belters, gave up 1 run in that win. Then threw all 6 innings before the game was rained out on Sunday, giving up no runs against the Evansville Otters. And so far today, just 1 run on 5 hits. Through 8 innings, he has struck out 6 men and has not walked a batter. Only 4 walks on the year for Trevor Foss. Foss finishing his warm-up tosses here in the bottom of the ninth. Due up to face him, 3-4-5. Jose Barraza, William Beckwith, and Juan Avila. So manager Greg Langman showing good confidence here in Trevor Foss, allowing him to finish this one out. We'll see if he can do it. As we said, game 2 of this 3-game series can be heard tomorrow night, 7:05 first pitch, here from All Pro Freight Stadium. As Wild Things looking to win game 1. Hopefully going for a series win tomorrow night. Jose Barraza will step in. Barraza today 0 for 3. A strikeout and 2 groundouts for the Lake Erie first baseman on the day. Trevor Foss looking for his 4th straight complete game. It will be his 4th complete game of the year. Barraza 0 for 3. A strikeout in the first, ground out in the 4th, ground out in the 6th. Foss looking in, has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Barraza takes ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Trevor Foss on the hill, still hitting 89 to 81. It's right where we like to see Trevor Foss. That's when he's on his best. Foss set, here's the 1-0. And this one grounded softly to the right side. Brian Harr will handle it. Throw to Foss covering, and that is out number 1. 4-1 on the putout. Jimmy Yezzo tried to make it, or Logan Ox, tried to make a diving attempt for that ball. Foss wisely running off of the mound as hard as he can to cover first base and get out number 1. That'll bring up the designated hitter, William Beckwith. Beckwith 1 for 3, struck out in the 2nd, singled in the 5th, and grounded out in the 7th. Beckwith collected the first hit of the game for the Lake Erie Crushers off Trevor Foss. That was back in the bottom of the 5th inning. Foss has his sign. Here's the pitch to Beckwith. And he takes it low for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the designated hitter for Lake Erie. One out, bottom 9. Wild Things lead 5-1. Foss set. Here's the pitch. Another swing and a miss by Beckwith. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1, 1 out. Trevor Foss still on the mound. Has been phenomenal today. 1 run on 5 hits. 6 strikeouts, no walks. Here's the 1-1. This one grounded left side, base hit down the line. Beckwith will stop at first as Nick Ferdinand gets to it quickly, and it's a 1-out single, the second hit of the day for William Beckwith off of Trevor Foss. 1-out base runner, and that'll bring up the third baseman, Juan Avila. Avila 1 for 2. Grounded out in the second, was hit by a pitch in the 5th, and singled in inning number 7. 1 out, bottom of the 9th. Wild Things lead 5-1. Trevor Foss still on the mound, looking for his 4th complete game in a row. Foss looking to McKeon. He has his sign. He's set. Checks first. And the pitch. And Avila lines this one to center field. Austin doesn't even have to move, and he makes the catch. That's out number 2. So it takes 1 pitch to retire Juan Avila here in the 9th. There are 2 away. And that will bring up the catcher, Brian De La Rosa. De La Rosa on the day, 1 for 3. Struck out in the 2nd, fielder's choice in the 5th, and a single in inning number 7. De La Rosa, the last chance for the Lake Erie Crushers. Your Wild Things trying to even their record at 12-12. Foss going for his 4th straight complete game. Foss, the right-hander, versus Brian De La Rosa, the right-handed batter. Foss set. And the pitch. De La Rosa takes a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Wild Things lead 5-1. 2 outs, bottom of the 9th. Beckwith takes his lead from first. Foss set. Here's the 0-1. And that one's high for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. 2 away. Here in the bottom of inning number 9, Trevor Foss. Still out there, just 6 hits through 9 innings, giving up that 1 run. Foss set. And the 1-1. Beckwith taking off for second. Pitch swung on a line to left field. Ferdinand coming in, and he will make the catch. You can put it in the books. Your Wild Things win this one 5-1. Trevor Foss, his 4th straight complete game as your Wild Things get the 5-1 victory. Keep it tuned right here to MSA Sports Network. The Washington Wild Things postgame show coming up next. Final score, Wild Things 5, Lake Erie 1.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. PALCS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. PALCS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to PALCS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School. Lead, don't follow.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Wild Things win this one. Final score, 5-1. Trevor Foss throws his 4th straight complete game, throwing a 9-inning complete game in this one as he wins 5-1, his 4th win of the season. Going to take a look at the scoring recap here on the Wild Things post-game show. It all started for the Wild Things in the top of inning number 2. Ricky Rodriguez would start things out with a single. Then Logan Ox flew out to left. And Nick Ferdinand, his first Wild Things hit, an RBI double, scored Rodriguez from first base and gave the Wild Things a 1-0 lead. The Wild Things would add on in inning number 3. As Jamal Austin would start things off with a flyout. Then 2 straight walks to Jimmy Yezzo and Brian Harr had runners at first and second with only 1 away. Dave Popkins would pop out. So it's first and second, 2 away. And Ricky Rodriguez, an infield single, loads the bases. And Logan Ox comes through a 2 RBI single to make the score 3-0 Washington Wild Things. Nick Ferdinand would line out to end things in inning number 3. Then in the top of the 5th, Wild Things would add on again after 2 flyouts by Brian Harr and Dave Popkins to start the inning. Ricky Rodriguez would walk, Logan Ox would single, and Nick Ferdinand would come up with runners at first and second and produce runners at second and third after a pass ball and would produce a 2 RBI single to make the score 5-0 Washington Wild Things. The Lake Erie Crushers would get their one run in the bottom of the fifth. William Beckwith would start things off with a single. That was the first hit of the night against starting pitcher Trevor Foss. And then a hit by pitch by Juan Amila would move runners to first and second. Brian De La Rosa would hit into a fielder's choice, so runners were at the corners with one man out, and a sac fly by Parker Norris brought in Beckwith. That inning would end on a strikeout. Trevor Foss, though, his fourth complete game, as he goes 9 innings, giving up just the one run on 6 hits, does not walk a batter, and strikes out 6 through his 9 innings of work. Foss, as we said, just coming off being named the Frontier League Player Week 4 Player of the Week. His 4th straight complete game against the Lake Erie Crushers today as they win this one 5-1. But your Wild Things Player of the Game, we're going to have a co-player of the game again, as it'll be Nick Ferdinand and Trevor Foss. Foss throwing his 4th straight complete game against the Lake Erie Crushers here in this one. Nick Ferdinand ended up going 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs. So co-players of the game, Trevor Foss and Nick Ferdinand. Game 2 of this 3-game series can be heard tomorrow night. First pitch 7:05 right here on the MSA Sports Network. Neither team has really announced their starting pitchers yet, so the starting pitching matchup still in limbo. However, Wild Things win Game 1, looking to win the series tomorrow night, 7:05, first pitch. Thanks for listening to Washington Wild Things Baseball here on the MSA Sports Network. As always, tune in tomorrow night, 7:05. Wild Things win this one 5-1. From Avon, Ohio and All-Pro Freight Stadium, I say have a good night, everybody. Your Wild Things win 5-1.